myself, Emma. I don't want to end up like her.
You're not like her. You're strong, like your grandma.
So, do you think the killer's still out there?
Hello?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 93 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael in Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, we are watching the 1985 horror classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. My favorite sequel, my second favorite in the franchise. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! It is Monday, December the 28th, 2020.
For a few more days.
Just a few more days until New Year's 2021, or 2020,
Hey,
New Year's,
thank God.
the New Year.
Ready for 2021.
I am ready for that day as well. Hey, welcome. We're back. And
On a Monday.
On a Monday, that's right. Our usual scheduled time, and I don't think we've been doing a Monday for and doing a Monday.
No. Bringing back the Monday Night Wars.
Bringing back the Monday Night Wars. Is there anybody else we're up against tonight? I don't know. I don't think there is. But yeah, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Tony, great to be back here. We're watching this movie. This is my second favorite in the franchise.
Nice. Mine, this would be third. 3 is 2. 2 is 3.
3 is 2. 2 is 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that would be New Nightmare, then 4, then 5, then Dead.
And then, yeah, I pretty much.
No pun on that, but that's pretty much then Dead.
I get it. I totally get it. I pretty much like the Elm Street films in order. The first is my favorite, followed by the second, followed by the third, followed by the fourth, fifth, sixth. I mean, and I can't say that the fifth is my fifth favorite. The fifth and sixth movies are absolute trash. The fourth one is barely watchable. But I find that's the order, that I would probably watch them in, is really the order of their release. And you can't really find too many other franchises that are like that. I mean, Halloween, well, no, not. I mean, Halloween to a point, to 4, I guess. But then after that, it's abysmal. And Friday the 13th is kind of all over the place. But yeah, that's what I tend to like that.
Yeah.
Like them in that
yeah,
order.
like we were talking off camera, Freddy's cool looking. Like I said, I wish they would have kept the OG original sweater. I'm still, partial fond of that one. But the beady red eyes and shit, like the makeup on this Freddy it's cool. There's some really cool scenes and some cool effects. I don't hate on it. I know this film gets trashed on by, a lot of horror fans, but it's a good horror flick for what it was for the 80s.
100%. And this is a good like Freddy, listen, the first is my favorite. It's iconic. I love the way he looks in that first movie. He's scary. He's dark. But Elm Street 1 is a far better movie overall than Elm Street 2. But the way Freddy looks in Elm Street 2 is just terrifying. He is the scariest looking Freddy Krueger is in A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, in my opinion. And I mean, just the witch nose and the sunken in eyes and the way, oh, fuck, it's great. Love it. Love that kind of shit. We will answer your super chats. We'll answer them, of course, at the end of the movie. That's because Tony and I like to keep on track. We
keep the train rolling.
When we first started doing these watch-alongs, we were answering super chats throughout the movie, but then we realized that unless the super chats have something to do with the movie, we were very rarely talking about the movie or paying attention to the movie. It was just kind of there. So we figured, the best way to do this is just kind of wait till the end. So if you do have super chats, by all means, send them in now, and we will get to them at the end of the movie when we go over to the Q&A portion. Tony, how was your Christmas?
Quiet, man. Family's up north, so everything's locked down up there. So it's pretty much me, myself, and I. And I saw my aunt, my mom, and that's pretty much it.
I hear you. It
was very low key given the circumstances.
Yeah, it was quiet here. I mean, I dropped the It's Me Billy teaser trailer, of course, on Christmas Eve, 9 a.m. I want to thank everybody, of course, who has watched that so far. I'm doing a McRae Live tomorrow morning where I'll go through it and talk about it. But I did that. I sort of dropped it and then I walked away because we've been working so hard on that for the last 3 weeks to get that up. I mean, it's not easy to get something like that up in 3 weeks, and because there's a lot of things that go into it. So I've just been up all hours of the night and exhausted, and so it was a quiet Christmas, but it was fine. I mean, it was fine, but it was just very relaxing. I just didn't kind of do anything for, a few days, laid around, took some naps.
Yeah, I even, one of the things I noticed this year, I don't know if it was like that up there, but I mean, there were still some people did Christmas decorations out in their homes and stuff, but not many. Is a lot less this year than in past years. I think that could just be just the year in itself.
Maybe.
People just checked out on it, or just like, ready for it to, be over with. I think it'll be back to norm once things get back to a sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I noticed them up here a little bit. I driving around my neighborhood and jogging at night, like I always do as you jog at night. I do see the lights.
I think my street had like 3 houses. People put stuff up. I put a wreath on the door and that was it.
I'll admit, whether it's more than usual or less than usual, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention. But.
I just, because usually my area is pretty well lit. I mean,
right.
It's like almost like a fucking contest with these people. I don't go as crazy as they do, but a lot of these people like put up a lot of shit.
Right.
I think given the circumstances of the year, I think people were just like not feeling it. And
right.
Some people put up just like I did, like a wreath, and that's it. There you go.
Right, right.
That's my festive. That's my festive spirit. For
I got
the
you.
Year,
Yep, I got you. Totally. I got you.
I want but though 1 year I want to go full Clark Griswold on my house and just fucking lights everywhere. Just
why not
piss off my neighbors?
Do it. Do it up. I think it'd be great. But yeah, I mean, it was a quiet Christmas here, I just the other day I had a chance to check out some trailer reactions to It's Me Billy. I want to thank everybody who did that. It was really cool to see everybody's reaction and the general consensus. It's nice to see that everybody it was well received, and that's good because
as it should be. I told everybody, I was like, man, y'all are I told them.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I knew it would be. Yeah, it was, but you never know. You never know how somebody's going to take it or what they're going to see. Do they like what they see? Do they like the tone? What is it? And so far it seems to be well received. So I'll be talking about it tomorrow on McRae Live, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be going through the teaser trailer, not giving spoilers, obviously, but just giving a little sort of run through of what we're seeing in the trailer and talk a little bit about that. And then then on Wednesday night, I have to confirm this. I've just confirmed, actually, and I think I will be able to do it. I told the guys, Mike and Jay over at Wham, they're doing a live stream on Wednesday, and I might be appearing over there on their live stream Wednesday night after 9 o'clock. So not 100% yet, but I just have to double check something, and that might be happening as well. So nice. We'll be talking a bunch of stuff. That'll be a lot of fun. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Should we do this?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, here we go, folks. I am watching this off YouTube. I am paused 4 seconds in. The New Line Cinema logo is just about to, make itself known here. So here we go. That's where we're watching it. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right.
I did piss off my Starbucks barista on Christmas Day because she said Happy Holidays and I responded Merry Christmas.
And she was upset about that?
Oh, wow. Oh yeah, dude. You could see the look of just anger come across your face like the moment I said the words. And I'm just like, dude, you don't have to be a Christian to say Merry Christmas. You could say Christmas and celebrate Santa Claus as well too. The word Merry doesn't mean anything offensive. It means happy. It means joy.
If somebody said Happy Hanukkah to me, I would say Happy Hanukkah to you too.
Exactly. Or Kwanzaa, whatever.
Yeah, I don't celebrate Hanukkah, but if I would say Happy Hanukkah to somebody if they wished it to me. So
it's funny because as soon as New Year's comes, they won't say Happy Holidays. They'll say fucking Happy New Year's.
Of course. I love this opening. I love the music to this opening. The school bus coming around the corner, driving down the street. Little insight, of course, for those of you that may not know, Robert Englund. I don't know if he's driving the bus, the whole thing, but they will show him here. This is Robert. Yeah, this is him. This is Robert Englund driving the bus. That's Robert Englund. He is the bus driver. Freddy Krueger himself is the bus driver.
Saluting.
That's right. There he is. There's Robert Englund, folks. There you go.
It's not really a big bus, so he probably could have driven it.
Yeah. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah.
Hey, you see the boombox he's holding?
Yep. But this is I love the opening music here. I love what we're about to see when they drive off into the field and the ground gives way. So surreal. Like that is dream creepy. It's like a Salvador Dali painting. It's just so eerie and creepy, and the bus is just, teeter-tottering on that one pillar, and it's so awesome. One of my favorite visuals from any Elm Street film ever.
Of course,
so cool.
It sets the vibe of high school kids, riding the bus. Although a lot of these kids on here look a little bit too old to be riding the bus. But I'm guessing we're supposed to believe that these are probably somewhere between sophomore and juniors and freshmen high school.
Maybe something like that.
Maybe not juniors, because juniors you usually get your license by then and you're driving. So freshmen and sophomores, I guess. Yeah. You might be right. You might be right on that.
But this is produced by Robert Shea. Robert Shea, that school bus. So such an old Jack Shoulder, I think is how you say that name. Of course, I didn't
ride the bus much in school. Did you? Because throughout my years, my schools were close enough for me to walk to.
Same.
So me and my friends just walked to school.
I rode a bus when I was younger in elementary school for the first grade, maybe 1 through through
I think
4.
we did that because we were too little to walk. But by the time like 4th grade rolled around, we'd walk.
Yeah. I was always within walking distance to my school, and of course there is the homosexual subtext in this movie, which is very apparent, and it works.
I never thought that.
Well, no, I didn't either, but it is there, and it's very apparent that it's there, and it works that it's there too. I've often believed that I don't think it should be shied away from. I think it's. I mean, the writer has since come out. He denied it for years, but he's since come out in recent years saying, I guess it is there, and it works because Jesse is somebody I've always seen. Even though he wasn't necessarily, I mean, obviously Mark Pattinson, Mark Patton, I think his name is, right? Yeah. He's obviously a gay man in real life, and to see him in this movie, of course, he has a feminine, softer quality about him. So it was, when he screams, when he's doing the little dance and things like that, it's very obvious that he's a softer sort of guy, let's say, and. I've always seen it as potentially, Freddy knows the truth, that maybe he is on some sort of subtext, he's struggling with his sexual, not identity, but of course his desires, let's say, that he knows potentially maybe that he likes men or boys, guys, right? But obviously, certainly back in the 80s, that was like a huge no-no. You don't say anything about that. So it was very kind of like you just shut your mouth and not say a word. And Freddy knows all his Freddy knows this, and he wants to exploit that vulnerability within this character of Jesse, which is why he's doing things like caressing his face and things like that. And I don't know if you guys know this, but in the script originally, Freddy was going to stick one of his knives in Jesse's mouth, and Mark Patton, I believe, didn't feel comfortable with that, so they took that out of the script. But it's all over, but I think it's a strength to a point, because you can look at it from a certain point of view that Freddy is exploiting this vulnerability within the character. You can look at it from another point of view as well, but this is such a great image. Isn't that fucking awesome? That imagery.
I love this scene. I thought it was well shot. I just looked at the film as it's a sequel to the movie. Putting labels on stuff and reading too much into it, to me, it takes me out of the movie. It's a sequel. He was the lead, and he did some fun shit throughout the film.
100%.
That's pretty much. That's it. I don't need it labeled. I don't need hidden messages. Freddy wanted to possess the kid, and sure. And you can certainly, I 100%. I like the details though of how they kept the Nancy's house mostly the same, for the most part, except they obviously put in their furniture and made some changes, but they kept the structure, the same.
Yeah, but that bus scene that we just came from, the way he stands up and the way he's, silhouetted, that is 95% of the time how you should see Freddy. Or basically how they light him in this entire movie is basically how you should always see him, is in darkness and shadow, very sort of this wet kind of smoky feel to it. That's Freddy, man. It's a nightmare on Elm Street. We should never see him as clearly as we saw him in Freddy's Dead or something like that. Fucking bullshit.
Or pretty much for the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, that's true too. This dad always annoyed me.
God, everything is like this. They get very, very hardcore 80s in this.
Yeah, they do.
Obviously, you got the bar scene.
Yeah.
And then just everyone's style, the way the guys are dressed and the girls, the hairstyles and everything.
That's right.
Because this came out when?
Geeked Out Turtles fan says, fun fact,
87.
85.
Geeked
Out Turtle.
So
fan.
yeah, you're peak 80s now. You're like at the peak of all this shit.
Geeked Out
So
Turtle
this came
fan
out one
says,
year?
fun fact, Dave McRae taught Mark Patton the bedroom dance in this movie. Who's Dave McRae? It must be a guy with a similar name as mine, but not quite. Wink, wink. Sorry, say again, Tony?
I didn't realize this came out 1 year after the original.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 85. And then there was a year break, and Dream Warriors came out in 87. Mark Patton, though, he was...
And this is when the door becomes red.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And the door is red to this day. And I bet you a lot of people thought, as soon as that door opened and you saw the back of her hair, I bet you people thought it was Nancy. I bet you some people were like, oh, is that Nancy? But then, and this...
Of course, we all know why they cast this chick, man. She's like a spitting image of Meryl Streep.
She kind of looks, she does look like a young Meryl Streep for sure.
I think they even said that in the documentary, the Never Sleep Again documentary, that was a big part, that they saw her and she had a strong resemblance to Meryl Streep.
Yep. And the Elm Street house is like a stone's throw away from Sunset Boulevard. Did you have
archery in your school? Because we never had archery in our school.
No.
When I saw that, I'm like, I don't remember. I don't think my gym teacher would have trusted our asses with bow and arrows.
No, we never did. We never did. I mean, you could literally, no. I mean, you could kill obviously you could kill somebody. I mean, it's like having a shooting range at a high school.
We did play softball, but.
Yeah, we played softball, baseball. Yeah. But this has got some of my favorite moments of the franchise in this movie. I think this may have been it's in my head. This may have been the first Elm Street movie I watched. I can't remember now. It's going back 35 years, but I may have watched Elm Street 2 before I watched the first movie. That's entirely possible. I may have watched the second one before the first one.
It was a minute before I saw part 2. For me, I think it was 1, 3, and then I don't know, probably 4, I guess, and maybe probably even 5, and then 2 at some point. 2 was like one of the last ones that I watched. Right.
It's such a great Freddy, though. Like I said, I mean the character. Oh, sorry, the movie in and of itself, not so much. I mean, it's fine. It's nothing. It's not terrible. It's not Halloween 5 or The Resurrection, but it's certainly. It's a bit of it's a step down from the first one, but I love Freddy, and I love the music in this movie, and I love some of the imagery and the practical effects and the whole fucking, like, him coming out of Jesse's body and that whole thing is amazing. To this day, it looks amazing. Mm.
I forgot that our teachers could smoke in the school back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I had 2 teachers that smoked.
Yeah.
In the classroom. Like,
wow.
God, fucking 80s were different, man.
I don't remember teachers smoking in the classroom, but I do remember there being a smoking room. In
the principal's office too. The principal would smoke, and the secretary would smoke as well too. Like, this is now, we're talking like 85, 86. Before things were really starting to change, they were still allowed to do that shit.
Oh yeah.
Mark, buddy, your form, man. You got to get that form right.
Don't they use this shot? Shoulders. Don't they use this shot of them doing push-ups, the exact same shot, like later in the movie, because you can pay attention to the people in the background? I think they just copied and pasted the same shot later in the movie.
I think so.
Yeah. The guy's locker room. Now, who's that janitor in the background there? You think he's still alive today? I don't know. Remember we had that thing with the movie we watched last week? Halloween 2 with the...
Oh, that's right. It's Wes Craven. It's Fred.
It's Fred. There he is in the background again. He's got a bit of a shiner. Yeah. There's the house. Still looks like that to this day. And like I said, it's
glad that they've never changed it.
They haven't.
I'm glad. Well, I mean, obviously the interior has been updated.
Yep.
To modern. But as far as exterior, they've done nothing. They've pretty much kept it intact. I hope as it continues on, if the owners, from owner to owner, that it stays that way. I hope they never change it.
Yeah. And there's a hedge around it now, the yard.
Right. Yes. Well, it's like 30 years.
Exactly.
Of growth.
But it looks the same. It looks the same, and they did a good job at maintaining its look. And like I said, it's a stone's throw away from the Doyle and Wallace house in Halloween. They're just down the street from each other, off of Sunset Boulevard.
Time stamp is 12:52 and 3 and 4 and 5.
Jesse. I want your tiddlywinks. What? Tiddlywinks? Tiddlywinks. Yes.
What's a tiddlywinks?
A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Tiddlywink. It's a whole other thing there, folks. It's a whole other thing. I forget what happens here for some reason.
Again, they like you said, that the lighting, they kept it pretty much close to the original.
Yeah.
A lot of, shadow, when the night shots are coming in.
Yep.
Which is how you want to see, a dream sequence put together.
That's right. Yeah. No, it's true. Oh, that's right. That's right. He looks, I remember now.
In the window.
In the window.
Yeah.
He
sees Freddy get his glove.
He sees Freddy reach in.
And I also like the fact that there is no explanation of how Freddy came back. You know, like how like as the series went on, they just came up like the dog pisses on Freddy and he comes back to life.
Right,
like, They just got fucking ridiculous with bringing Freddy back. Like I like how he's back. You know what I mean? Right. No explanation. You don't need the explanation, and let's go.
Right. Now, again, for those of you that may not know, the interiors, of course, is a soundstage. The interior of the actual Elm Street house doesn't look like this.
Anything like, and in fact, they don't have stairs that
go up right there. No. There's no stairs right to the right of the door in the actual Elm Street house. The actual interior of the Elm Street house you can see on the TV version of the original Halloween.
That's right.
That's the actual interior of the Elm Street house. Yeah.
For the day shots, right?
Correct. That's right. Yeah. When I think it's Jamie Lee Curtis comes down the stairs in the towel.
The extra scenes made for TV. Yeah.
That's actually the interior of the real Elm Street house.
Yeah, see, Freddy looks cool here.
He looks great.
I just wish the sweater was different. That's all.
He looks fucking great. I love the hat. I love the makeup.
The eyes, the beady red eyes.
Yeah, it's great.
Love to see if I could do that. Get like some type of eyes that I can put on the mask.
Well, it's funny because in the original...
Well, no, because with my eyes, it's tough to see through the silicone mask like the way I want it to. So I'm trying to see if I can get some eyes put on there so that I can still see out the mask.
The brain is pulsating. I love it. He's waking up in a fucking... sweating again.
I had a wet dream, Mama.
That's what it is. What's going on in here? Now you gotta...
Dude, I had a crazy dream. Have you ever had... This happened to me the other night. Have you ever had a dream where you're in the dream and you know you've dreamt the dream before?
Yes, I have. Yeah. That's form of lucid dreaming.
That was the first time I've ever had that happen. I've never had that happen. That was the first time. It was really trippy because I was like, I was in New York and I was trying to photograph the Empire State Building, but I had dreamt this before of being in New York and the same area, but it was weird because it didn't look like the Empire State Building. It looked like a completely different building.
Right.
It was just really fucking trippy.
Interesting.
But like I said, like in the dream, as I was talking to people in the dream, I was like, I've been here before.
Right.
It was just really fucking weird.
That's creepy. That's cool. Yeah.
And I had a dream like that months ago.
Yep. Have you ever had deja vu where you've dreamed?
I have deja vu a lot. But I had deja vu like all the fucking time.
Yeah, but have you had the kind where you've dreamt what you're
experiencing? And where you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, and you're like, I had a dream this was going to happen.
Yeah.
It's
and you know what's
wild.
coming up next, and it's like fucking trippy as fuck.
Yeah. He's sleeping. He just didn't get enough sleep. Jesse is not getting the sleep he desperately needs. Yeah, it would be.
Deja vu? Yeah. Like if you knew, like you dreamt you were going to die.
There's a Denzel Washington action movie called Deja Vu.
Yeah, no. I'm talking like a horror film.
I know
where, like if you know you're going to die, you dream how you're going to die, you wake up from the dream, but then it actually fucking happens.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Good on him too, because I could not do that. No? I'm like Bam Margera. That's a fucking no for me. I can't do snakes. I
think snakes are cool.
No, when I see them fuckers on my run, I fucking I tail it the other way. Like, nope, I'm good.
Look at this teacher, fucking loser. He's all mad at him.
Now, I mean, I'm not like petrified like Bam is. Have you ever seen those videos? Like whenever they like on Jackass, whenever they set him up in a prank and they put him in like a thing of snakes, like dude flips.
No,
like he straight up flips. For me, I just would be creeped out.
I got you. Jesse called. Look at the mom, typical 80s mom. Like something straight out of, I don't know. Oh, just got the cordless phone. Hello? Hi.
And that was about the beginning of cordless phones. Mid 80s were about the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
That was a new thing.
Yeah, because it was cool that you could take your phone out to the pool.
Exactly.
Or you could take it outside with you. That was cool. You kids don't know how cool that fucking was.
It was the shit.
Be able to take your phone off the hook and walk outside with it. That was fucking amazing. The feeling you felt, the freedom you felt.
course, these kids do that now all the time.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But they don't know what it was like to not be able to do that and then suddenly do it with a cordless one. Here we go. Touch me, baby, all night long. Yeah, yeah. Here we go. Ow! Arr! Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony. Yes, I love it. I love it.
I'm glad I never threw away my shit.
I love that moment. He's like, take that, Dad. Ooh, you fucking rebel, Jesse. You rebel, Jesse. Take that, Dad. You rebel, man. You rebel. Look at him put. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Has he hit the drawer with his ass yet? That's the best part.
You know what's crazy is the song that's being played right now.
Yes. Oh, love it.
Do you remember how this became this song became popular again in the 90s, early 90s with Kathy Dennis? I think it was Kathy Dennis. She did a remake of this song, Touch Me.
Kind of. I kind of remember that. Now, this movie was actually supposed to take place 5 years after Elm Street. So I think the first Elm Street was supposed to be, again, this is all, what is it, 79, 80 or something? The first Elm Street was supposed to take place or something like that?
It's Hollywood. It's movies. I give them whatever. You know, that's like the Friday the 13th timeline.
Yeah.
What I mean?
But I know this movie, I think, is actually supposed to take place 5 years
after the events of
the
84.
first movie. Yeah.
So this is like 89-ish.
Yeah, I think so. If the first movie was 84, because the first movie might have been earlier. I don't know. But Dave,
what the hell?
You should have seen today. There was some troll that was getting into it with one of my viewers on a post on the teaser trailer. He was talking about they were just getting. I was trying to tell him that he's ill-informed and that he needs to be more informed before he makes an accusation. And then this guy comes in and takes over, and they start talking back and forth. And fuck you, no, fuck you, no, fuck you, no. Fucking great. I love it.
I don't miss YouTube,
dude. Sometimes it's a guilty.
By the way, I was going to mention the dance thing that he was just doing. We've all done that at some point in our lives.
I don't know. Okay, personally,
I'm sure you've wild out to AC/DC in your room. I'm not saying dancing 100%. Like him. I'm just saying had your wild out moments. You know what I mean? We've all had that.
100%.
I still do. When I'm fucking meddling out.
I've never made love with my ass to my dresser drawer, but
but we've all had our moments.
But. No, sometimes it's fun to watch trolls and viewers go back and forth because I just get a kick out of it and then I skedaddle. But it's fun to watch sometimes. It's like people, they take their shit so fucking seriously.
You know what gets me to white boy dance? Anytime I hear the Bangles.
Oh, Bangles is great.
Hoff.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Susanna Hoff, man.
Give me your hand, baby.
Well, no, the fun shit.
Oh,
like
fun
Manic
shit.
Monday.
I like that one though too.
Monday.
I still like that song. I still like that.
Walk
song.
Like an Egyptian.
I like those two songs, but I still like that other one.
For those
too.
young folks out there, if you don't know who Susanna Hoff is, first of all, the chick's never aged. She looks fucking
great today.
Sexy today.
Yeah, she does.
But if you look at her in the 80s,
she's great.
Holy shit.
She's like 60 now, I think.
But she still looks great at 60. I mean, she looks fucking
So
phenomenal.
This is, of course, the exposition here that is needed to bring everybody up to speed. Reading in the diary.
They find Nancy's diary.
They find Nancy's diary. Yeah. They find Nancy's diary. Diarrhea.
Now he's having another wet dream.
Yeah. There's the. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah. Yes. He's like, we've all been there. We've all laid in bed like this, sweating profusely. We've all done this. We've all done this. It's great. This is a dream.
He's reading Jack Horak on the road? Is that what the book said there?
I think so, yeah.
I have that book.
What's it about?
You should read it. I don't want to tell you. You actually should really read it. You should read it. I don't even want to ruin it for you. It's that's the first time I've ever even noticed that.
I love the vinyl that's like melting.
Melting.
I love that. Great effect. Great effect. Is this the scene here where he opens the door to his sister's bedroom and sees Is it here? It's creepy as fuck.
It's been a year and a half since I watched this movie, dude.
This is great.
But I think you're
No,
right?
actually, I don't think. I think this is maybe goes into the basement. Does he go open his sister's door? Can't fucking remember.
Who's texting me?
How come you can't remember, McRae?
Yeah, Dave, you're supposed to remember all this shit
Well,
like
it's funny.
on the nose.
It's funny because the guy that was getting into it with one of my viewers, he was claiming not to be a troll, but he created his account the very day he left the comment. And I said to him, I said, you know, if you're gonna, I said, you can't. I said, I mean, you know, it's kind of obvious that if you create your account the day you leave a comment, you know, being sort of antagonistic, I can't take you. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I'm out.
I had that
I'm
here
out.
recently with someone. I mean, not like
Like
bad,
at least
but
be
just
better. At least be better at trolling. You know.
I wouldn't necessarily call him a troll that I had here recently, but someone who just was having a hard time understanding why I had to cut back on my horror theme shoots. Like they weren't and maybe it was broken English, maybe it was, I don't know, but like I was trying to explain, like
Right.
these shoots cost money to do and stuff, and he wasn't understanding that. Like he was literally getting mad at me in the DMs, and I was just like, "Why are you getting mad, dude? Like,
Dude,
this shit is out of my control."
Some
Like,
people just they don't have any lives. They and when I mean they don't have any lives, I mean they just have nothing else better to do. Their days are just, this is the highlight of their life, and they, you know, love to take people down. I just find it funny. I find it amusing. I will only respond when factual information is like, I'll never respond to a troll that's just trolling for the sake of it. I'll only respond to somebody if I'm not quite sure they're a troll yet. They've just displayed factual information is not correct. Like he was saying that he was upset because he saw a photo of me as Billy. And I said, a photo of me as Billy? I'm not, that's impossible because one does not exist. I'm not playing Billy. And then he gave a link to a photo of me when we did the camera test, the one that's me where I'm doing that Jack Torrance kind of face, you know, in the dimly lit light.
Yeah.
Well, he thought that was me playing Billy in the movie, and I said, no,
it was just a selfie, right?
No, it wasn't a selfie. It was from the Airy, but it was a camera test.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was a camera test.
Yeah. No, okay. I was
know the one
thinking
I'm
of the
talking
other one here that you posted recently. There was a selfie that you
No.
posted recently.
Yeah, no. It was a camera test. It was just me.
I saw it. It was up light, and you had like crazy look.
Right. And I was just sitting in while Greg did some camera tests. I was just making some funny faces. So I said that to him. I said, no, this is not, and blah, blah. But of course that doesn't, you know, he doesn't acknowledge that. He just goes on to the next
where
thing.
they filmed Karate Kid.
Is it really?
Yeah, the exterior is anyways. Oh, yeah, I could totally tell. It's the same hallways.
Well, there
At
you
least
go.
this shot is. And I mean, may not be the entire school, but it could be this one hallway. But yeah, no, LaRusso and Allie and Allie's friend, when they walk, yeah, this is the same fucking school that they shot the Karate Kid at. This has to be.
Fascinating.
At least the
didn't know that, if it's true.
exteriors.
But yeah, it's.
I never noticed it in either. Well, I mean, obviously both movies were filmed in California.
They were. Yep. Yeah, and I actually, unbeknownst to me, I have photos of me on the Karate Kid beach. It's in Malibu. And
yes,
I went there. I went to the beach, not knowing it was the beach. It's all rocky now. It's not really got a lot. It's not really nice anymore. But I mean, it's still nice. It's Malibu for fuck's sakes. But it's not. It's more rocky than sandy. And my girlfriend and I were there for like a couple hours, just hanging out on the beach. And yeah, see, this is the same shot here. Why are they using the same shot from earlier in the movie? They're dressed differently. Anyway, yeah, but it was cool. And I found out when Cobra Kai hit, I was like, oh yeah,
it is
beach. Cool.
Yep. Okay, so
oh, you know your Karate Kid shit.
Well, I've seen the movie so many times. Like
That's
I kept
it.
looking at it, I was like, man, this shit looks really familiar.
Yeah.
It's Karate Kid High School. Daniel's new school in the film is known today as Hughes Adult Learning Center, formerly Charles Evans Junior High, located at 5607 Caspertrano Avenue. I probably butchered that, in Woodland Hills. The latest and then flip over to the next page. The latest incarnation of Springwood High School is located at 5607 Casperano. I said that wrong, I'm sure. Avenue, Woodlands Hill, formerly known as Charles Evans Junior High School. So it's actually a junior high. And summer school. Isn't that the what's his name? The comedian there. Dangerfield?
Rodney Dangerfield?
Summer School?
Summer
Didn't
School?
he do Summer School?
I can't remember. He might have. Yeah, I think there might have been one. Yeah. The fucking... Oh, the father gets nicked. The bird's
This is
going
when the
crazy.
parrot goes batshit crazy.
Yeah.
From what I remember in the Elm Street Never Sleep Again documentary, they wanted to make the parrot actually look like Freddy, and I think they did film some shit, but it just looked too
looks
fucking
too weird.
cheesy.
Yeah. No,
I'm
you're right.
I'm glad they did this.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's better. It's better.
Back to school. Okay, that's the.
Oh, back. Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
summer
Thank you,
school
Aaron.
wasn't summer school with fuck. I know there is a comedy from the 80s called Summer School, but Back to School, yeah, is the Dangerfield one. Mark Harmon, that's it. Yeah, Mark Harmon with Summer School. The dad's trying to move the stove. I'm a fucking man. I'm a man's man. Honey, shut the fuck up. Honey, shut up.
That's my horrible Dangerfield impersonation.
Shut the fuck up, honey. Now, listen, I want you to shut up for a minute.
I still do that to this day. You know when I whack my head the most is I always forget the distance in the Camaro when I'm getting out sometimes, and I'll fucking smack the back of my head on it.
Yes, I've done that. You're gonna shut the fuck up, son. Something tells me this dad has a very pissed off relationship with Jesse and his jeans.
Yeah, now that's the address, right? 1428.
It is.
That's the
That
real
is the
address,
real
but
address.
it's not Elm Street. What's the name of the street?
It starts with a G. It starts with a G. Why am I forgetting this? It starts with a G. I'm blanking, but it's off Sunset Boulevard. It starts with a G.
Oh, it's right off Sunset.
Yep. Oh, yeah. There's a video on my channel for those of you that want to know how close the Doyle house and the Wallace house is to the Elm Street house. Just Google Dave McRae Elm Street house or something. I'm in a car, and I take you in real time from the Elm Street house to the Doyle house. And it's like a minute, and it's a minute drive or a minute and a half drive, and only that long because of lights. It's not that far at all. You could walk it in like 2 minutes. It's insane.
Cool.
How close it is.
So this is when he goes to the 80s biker bar or gay bar, right?
That's right.
Don's place.
Yeah. And what's his face? Bob Shea is the bartender.
Oh no, it's a biker bar. That's right, because there are females in here.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty.
It's kind of mixed. It's
Yeah.
it's an extreme 80s bar. That's why I never took it as this movie being
but
gay.
see that
you know
guy.
what I mean?
He was licking the guy's
but
ear.
there's chicks in there and dudes making out too.
Yeah. There's definitely a homosexual undertone to the movie. 100%. Not saying that it's extreme as some people want to believe, but there's definitely there. It is there. But
that dude who's got the top hat on in the suit, he's standing out like a sore thumb.
Oh yeah, he is for sure. But yeah, Robert Shea is the it could be a gay bar. They could all be lesbians too.
He looks like a really creepy
it's definitely a gay
Rocky Horror Picture Show, Dr. Frankenstein, whatever his name is, Franken something, by Tim Curry. Tim Curry's role there in Rocky Horror. What's the Dr. Frankenstein, whatever it is. That's what Shay reminds me of in this.
Yeah. I think it is a gay bar. I think they're all lesbians. I think that's why they look like that. But and then of course his gym teacher is like nobody goes
making him run in the basketball court.
Yeah, nobody goes to a bar like that.
With that haze, that classic 80s dream sequence haze.
Yeah, this almost looks like the Jim Hayes from Teen Wolf.
It does actually.
We should do Teen Wolf.
We should do.
That's a fun movie. I like Teen Wolf.
We should do Die Hard soon. I watched that the other day.
Yeah, Die Hard. I watched Die Hard with Frank and Darren on their Slaughtered Lamb podcast. Now, this is the only scene in this movie where it's actually not Robert Englund, if I'm not mistaken, right? He comes out of the
this
shadows.
Is when they made the idiot decision because they thought you don't need to cast Robert as Freddy. So this is like the one scene where Robot Freddy comes in.
It looks ridiculous. It looks like, do you know what it looks like? And I say this with all due respect. It looks like either a teenager in clothing and a glove that's too big for him, or a woman. And what I mean by that is that he quote unquote doesn't have the stature. Like, it looks like the clothes are too big, the hat's too big, the glove is too big, the way he's walking. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look fitted. You know, it looks strange. It almost looks like, you know, my girlfriend put on my clothes. You know what I mean? Like, it looks weird like that. And I've always thought that. I was like, is that a woman? You know what I mean? Like, is that like a kid or something? You know, it kind of feels strange like that. It doesn't even, it's just so weird. It looks very weird, very clearly not Robert Englund. This is, you know, I mean, I don't know. This is all right, I guess. Everything coming out.
What, the practical effects?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'd never be caught walking around with a vest like that, but hey, it's the 80s. It's all right.
It's the 80s, man.
It's all right.
You didn't give a shit what you were wearing.
You know what? Hey, you know, when I was in grade 4 in the 80s, that's what I had. I was walking around, little Dave McRae. No chest hair, you know, just walking around. I got sent to the principal's office. If any of those hit you in the face, you're
done. You're so done.
You would be out. You'd be out cold. I mean, there's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. He's locking things up. Yeah, ties him up and starts whipping his ass. I mean, you know.
It's a creative kill, not one of the better ones, for sure.
Certainly creative, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the best I can say. It's creative. He's just sitting there, like, looking at it, not even phased.
Yeah. Yeah, because some people have been like, is this a dream? Is it not? And then, obviously, he's left with the glove.
With the towel, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yep, he's going to whip him with the towel. Woo! Ow! Arriba! Woo! Woo!
And this is when Robot Freddy enters the scene, right?
Yeah, this is, well, this, or 5'3". Like, look at this right here. Watch. It doesn't even, it looks so like, bad. It looked like it would be if my girlfriend put on my clothes.
He looks like a fucking robot.
It just looks so strange.
Like, oh yeah, let me.
Like, it just looks, yeah, like
bad.
Everything just looks big. It just looks weird.
And the cuts were like,
oh, deep. Those cuts are
yeah,
deep.
but it was just lame. Like the person who did it had no Freddy movement. You know, yes. Freddy has a certain movement to when he's using the glove.
That's right. But it kind of works.
Is that the first time, if I'm not mistaken, we actually see Freddy penetrate someone on screen with the glove? Because he does it in the first film.
You're right. I think it is. I think it is.
You don't see him phically actually
cut
somebody with the glove. So was that the first time?
I think you on screen? As Dr. Loomis would say, you may be right. And
we haven't seen anything up until this point.
No,
right?
You are correct. And it kind of
yes. For those who don't know, fun movie trivia. In the first Nightmare film, you do not see Robert Englund as Freddy actually penetrating somebody with the gloves. Tina's cuts are invisible. Rod, he gets hung. Johnny Depp gets pulled under, and Mom gets brought under the bed as well too, on fire.
Right.
So it isn't until this movie where you actually see Freddy stabbing people with the glove.
Right.
So the gym teacher is the very first time we see that ever in the Nightmare series.
Well, and I think what's interesting too about the robot Freddy, as you call it, is it actually kind of works in a way because you're left to believe that it was Jesse that actually did it. We seeing sort of, obviously he didn't have the clothes on, but are we, because Jesse he's a smaller guy. So
maybe it's supposed to be Jesse.
Right. Like maybe in some sort of, well, no, it's not, but I mean, we can justify it that way. Right. So it actually kind of works a little bit to justify. And I stood right out there, and I actually did the Freddy laugh. I have it on camera in front of the Elm Street house. I don't know. I may have been the first person ever. I'm not sure. Probably not. But there's a video on my channel where I do the Freddy laugh outside of the Elm Street house. I record myself doing it. It's like 8:30 in the morning. And I go full laugh, like full, ha, you know, like the whole thing, you know, like, ha, like real
People
loud.
inside the house must have been like, this motherfucker's whack.
Whack. They must have. I did a full on, like full Freddy, full on, just wow. I'm sure if they looked out the window, like, oh, not another one. That's probably what they thought. Not another one. That's
another one.
That's our 38th laugh today. I tried to start a trend. I said, you know, everybody should come down to the Elm Street house and do laughs, do Freddy laughs. Yeah, they found out somebody killed the coach, man. Somebody fucking got him, dude. And he knows it was him. He knows it was him.
He's having the wet dream again.
Yep. Yeah, he's there. He's more of the... Yeah, he's got the wet dream. Now, is this where he goes? I think this is... Ooh, tighty whities, man. Hey, we all wore them in the 80s. I wore tighty whities in the 80s.
Yeah, we did.
Everybody
in the 80s.
did. I mean, that's all there was. No, not all there was, but... Tighty whities. But well, they had different colors, too. I mean, I had, like, blue.
Yeah, and then the 90s was the boxer shorts. Of course, we were sagging our pants.
Yeah, that's it. Freddy's
and then
glove.
I saw Friends and heard Joey talk about going commando, and that changed my life forever.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's the way to do it. Yes, this is it. This is when he goes down the hall. He opens the door. I always think this scene is really creepy. As he opens the door and he sees his sister.
Looking at his sister.
Yeah, it's fucking creepy as hell.
Just weird creepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is when you see the girls jump roping too.
Yes. I think it's just a creepy scene. Right here. Here it is. It's fucking creepy as hell. Yeah.
And I like the girl who's doing
it.
I like how they mix this, the sound design.
Well, that's supposed to be his sister.
Singing.
That's his sister. That's jumping rope there.
Yes.
Yeah. And notice how her bed's not in there. Unless it's in the other corner or something.
Like, I want that cut of the Freddy nursery rhyme. That's a really creepy cut.
It's creepy. And I got to say, the look on Mark Patton's face there, the way they lit it, the look of it is great. He looks...
That would have been my trailer.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
Yeah, that's a great... Well,
that's your trailer.
Maybe a micro. But, I mean, it looks good. Like, the way he looks and how... he looks genuinely disturbed and confused. And I love that moment in this movie. It's great. Listen, son, I'm a fucking pain in the ass dad. What the fuck did this woman see in this man? He's almost got like a Willie Tanner from Elf stiffness about him.
A little bit.
Like, fucking loosen up there, dad.
God, we had those similar. I wonder if there must have been an artist around that time in the 80s. The fruit paintings that are hanging in the background of the kitchen. We had similar like that in our kitchen. Similar type paintings.
Yep.
In the 80s.
For sure. I'm telling you, you son of a bitch. You damn motherfuckers. The toast! The toast is on fire! Bagels. Wonder what happened to this little girl. Wonder where she is now. Did she go off to do any acting, or is she doing the convention circuit?
Identifying herself as the real Michael Myers.
Yeah, maybe.
Good old Tony Moran.
Totally California. Yeah, that's what the streets look like there, obviously. Look at that car.
That was the cool part about the 80s and the 90s, because we were in this is before cars began to transition and now all look ugly. You had the era of our grandparents of like the 50s and the 40s cars. You would still see them driving around. A ton of 70s were out and about, a ton of 80s cars, and then the 90s cars all just had this like classic look. And the other thing too, we were just talking about this, about cars that I liked growing up. In anybody in the chat room, if you're around mine and Dave's age, you know, man, you could it didn't matter the fucking car you bought. You could buy your car and you could pop that hood, and you knew if there was something wrong, you knew how to fucking fix it. You knew where to go and fix the fucking problem. Everybody fucking was working on their fucking car and under their hood. But now, they took that away from us with all the fucking computer bullshit. And I hate that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at an 87 pickup truck. Chevy.
Replacing your Camaro or
replacing the Jeep.
Oh, the Jeep. Okay.
Yeah, it's only got 62,000 miles on it. Rebuilt engine. It's fucking nice. It's very like nice. Cherry. Yeah, I told the guy to hang on to it for a little bit.
Very nice. Do you feel anything? No. Do you want to feel me?
And this looks like not a boiler room. This looks like a fucking factory. Although cool, because it looks like a location that I've done photo shoots in for my Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, 100%.
Shoots.
Did you watch the Mark Patton documentary?
Not yet.
Scream Queen? It's good. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a little self-indulgent, but it's interesting. It's certainly interesting to get another, to get the insight into a bit of the story of Elm Street 2.
Yeah, but doesn't he go off more about his sexuality and all that stuff in the documentary? It's not so much about Elm Street 2. It's about him being gay and like coming out and dealing with that and all that stuff.
Well, that's part of it, but it's
not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying, isn't that what it's about?
Yeah, well, that's a big part of it. It's in relation to how the movie. It is connected to the movie. Because it's about him coming face to face with the creators of the movie and getting them to admit that yes, they sort of spun the story in a way that affected his career. And I mean, it's interesting. It's worth a watch.
Well,
it's worth a watch.
Is that Tina on the wall?
Tina was on the wall there. I didn't have a look. Oh, right there.
The little Ooh, when he went up the stairs, was that Tina? Like,
I don't know.
The picture of her on the wall.
I wonder who that was.
Anybody fucking see that shit? Whoever's watching the film right now, we can't rewind it.
No.
But if you guys can rewind it for me,
I've never noticed that.
Rewatch the sequence of him going. It looked like Tina for a split second.
It did a little bit.
It was going too fucking quickly.
It did.
So whoever's in the chat, if you can rewind and watch, that would be cool. And then we'll tell you the timestamp.
I've never.
Didn't it though for a split second?
A little bit. Yep. Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Tina's Tina is my favorite Elm Street chick. Even though she doesn't last very long.
She doesn't. No.
I mean, I like Nancy. I mean, Nancy's.
Yeah, Heather. I think Heather's probably the best. Heather is the, I think, the perfect archetype for a final girl. I think she's probably the best. Her and
Nev. I mean, they face their adversities. They challenge their.
Well, the others do too, but I just mean in terms of
except for Jamie Lee Curtis. She does like 40 years later, or 20 years later, then 40 years later.
But just like the quintessential look.
Final girl, yeah.
Everything.
Wes does a great job. Well, I know he's not solely responsible for writing the character, but he does a great job at developing the final girls, for sure. I have a friend like that. Do you? Who fucking talks with the mouth full. It's so obnoxious. It's fucking.
Are they watching right now? That's the question, ladies and gentlemen. Are they watching? Hey,
probably not.
Hey, Bob.
His wife.
Hey, Bob. Sorry to break it to you, but you don't keep your trap shut.
He's a Peter Griffin type character. No filter. Says whatever he fucking wants and like chews with his mouth open and doesn't fucking give a shit.
Chews with his mouth open.
Of course, I'm sort of like that too. I don't have a filter either, but Shut up, Grady.
Grady. I think my cat is meowing. Come on in, Veda. Come on. Get in here. I hear you meowing. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. We're watching A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. No, I won't be able to pick you up. I know it because you're going to squirm away. But come on up. You want to come up here? You want to come on my lap? No, you're just going to walk around and sniff and because you're wondering who the hell I'm talking to. All right.
Now, I love the concept of the scene. I hate that it's not a dream sequence. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I mean.
Party scene.
Well, and it's one of the areas of contention for those who watch this.
Love
movie.
the idea. It's and the execution of the scene. It's badass. Yep. But because it's not a dream sequence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could look at it that he's been possessed. He's pulled out into the real world. But there's a few loopholes in here that can go either way. And I know it's an area of contention for a lot of Elm Street fans. I get the arguments. I understand it. I love the line though. Help yourself, fucker. I love it. Help yourself, fucker. Help yourself, fucker. I love it.
That was his big moment there, that dude.
Yeah.
All I want you to do, man, is walk into frame, smile, and that's it.
Rub your shoulders, and leave. That's it. That's
your big moment. That's your big nightmare moment, bro.
He might have got his union card that day. I don't know. It may have happened. Veda, come here. What are you doing? I hear you meowing. Oh, stop. You like A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Yes, you do. The one with Freddy, you know how he possesses the body? Yeah, exactly. Sorry, just having a conversation with my cat.
I wouldn't say this movie necessarily ruined his career. I mean, look, let's be honest. He was good in the role. He's good in the film. I mean, but
no,
like,
I think the truth lies in the middle. Watch the documentary and then let me know what you think, because we can even do a show on it. But there's more to it than just that, of course. And listen, I mean, I'll be the first to say, as I'm watching the movie, it's a little self-indulgent but there are certain, you got to give credit where credit is due. There are certain things in there that I'm like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get it. And a lot of these types of things, the truth can lie somewhere in the middle. So I reached out to Mark Patton actually back in the spring, I think it was, wondering if I had reached out to him through Instagram. He told me to email him, so I did, asking him to come on the channel, and I never heard back. So I thought, okay, well, fine. I'm not in the business of chasing people down. I don't give a frog's fat ass who you are.
Oh, I'm the same, dude. Whenever I ask someone to do a shoot, I ask them one time. I will not follow up. I'm not going to sit here and hold your fucking hand. Yep. You say yes, you commit. Let's do it. Let's coordinate and get it done. You don't follow up with me. I'm not your dad.
If somebody reaches out to me, if I reach out to somebody and they reach out back and saying, hey, would love to, can't right now, can you connect with me again 6 weeks down the road? That's no problem. I'll do that because there's a connection that's been made, right? But if I reach out to somebody and I don't hear back, I'm not in the business of chasing people down. You either are or you aren't. I mean, I work in the industry. I know how it works. And if I don't hear back, you're not interested. So that's the way it goes, and I'm not saying that he wasn't interested, but he obviously wasn't interested enough to respond to my email. So
what I was going to say is this, like, look, I know I'm good enough to star in a B fucking horror film if I had to. Okay.
Sex
But
scene!
am I gonna be fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and start making Academy Award winning?
Yes.
Films? No, I know my limitations.
Tony
you know what I mean?
Caprio.
Like, I am not. No. I know my limitations, and sometimes actors, like you said, actors are very narcissistic. It's they like the attention on them, and sometimes you got to understand your limitations as an actor, and then you just got to run with it. That's what I love about like Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, he's always obviously going to be remembered for the role for Ash, and I know he's appeared in other things here and there over the course of his career, but he's not like Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus, that's the fucking golfer. Nicholson.
He's certainly not like Jack Nicklaus.
No, he's definitely not like Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
No, he's not.
He's not like Jack Nicholson or Dustin Hoffman or something like that. But that's not a criticism. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Campbell knew his strength and knew where his career was, and he fucking rolled with it. And a lot of actors do that, and there's nothing fucking wrong with it. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
no. You know, like Danielle Harris. I mean, at the end of the day, she will be known for as a slasher B actress, but that's not a bad thing. She's made a career out of it. Sure. That's fucking good.
Sure, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
But sometimes when people hide behind this facade and blame the business and that they've been pigeonholed into this, and I'm just like, bro.
No, it's true.
Maybe there's just some parts you just weren't qualified for.
No, it exists. No, it's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, no, those things definitely happen for sure. This is undoubtedly one of my favorite scenes in the entire film, in the entire franchise. This possession, and the way that Freddy comes out of the body and just it's a metamorphosis, like just comes out of the cocoon, shreds off the body, and he's there, and he puts his hat on, and he does this with his hat. I think he thinks, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Definitely one of my favorite moments in this movie. 100%. I just love it. I love this. There's somebody who's like, yeah, and and she's downstairs trying to get whatever. I love it. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Freddy's bingo. Wallpaper. I had that as a kid.
Who did you have on your wall in terms of girls?
Oh, well, I mean, the first that I can recall going up was it would have probably been Nicole Eggert and Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Saved by the Bell, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Yasmin Bleeth. I wasn't really a big fan of Pamela Anderson.
No, I can't. Too fake.
Yeah. Even her early days when she first came out, she was hot, but like, I just, no.
Well, she was attractive like on like Tool Time. Tool Time, Pamela Anderson was attractive, but Baywatch, Pamela
I agree with
Anderson
that. Tool Time, Pamela Anderson, yeah, she was hot in that. Who else did I have on my wall? Well, before she got batshit crazy, fucking Alyssa Milano. She was fucking hot back in the day. Now she's fucking off her rocks.
My brother Neil was a big Alyssa Milano fan.
Yeah. Pretty much all like the 80s, you know, like starlets, you know, like teen, you know, girls and whatnot of that time. I think I had a poster of Jeannie Garth and Shannon Doherty at one point when 90210 first came on. Because it was the two of them in one shot that I had hanging up. Who else did I have hanging up on the walls? I cycled through a lot of shit. But I had that wallpaper.
I had Edith from All in the Family.
Christy Brinkley. No, Christy Brinkley was before our time. That would have been more like my uncle and my dad's. She was really popular then. I mean, not that she wasn't popular in the 80s, but like, or even the 90s, but she was before mine and Dave's. Like her popularity.
It was late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. I had Edith from All in the Family on my wall. I had a swimsuit of her. Woo, man, she was attractive. Let me tell you, she was great. I had B. Arthur from Maude. So
Maude. Fuck you, man. I had. Not only did I have B. Arthur, I had fucking Betty White and Reba. What's her name?
Reba McEntire. Oh
no, not Reba.
Oh, you mean
the chick who's on Golden Girls.
Oh, Rue McClanahan.
Yeah, thank you. And who's who played Estelle or Estelle, the mom.
Well, Estelle Getty played.
That's
Sophia.
her name, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sophia. Thank you. Yeah, I had them.
Here it is.
The Golden Girls on my wall.
Yeah, fuck, I did too. All in bathing suits. Woo! Here it is. The metamorphosis is happening. I love this scene. Look at that! Just the thing opening up. It's so great. Yes. This is great practical effects, dude. This is good shit.
Yeah.
And it still looks good today. You know?
The bands I had on were Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, Poison, the popular metal bands of the 80s, obviously.
Jesse looks. I love this. The way he looks so.
That's a cool effect. I love that effect.
Yeah.
The eyeball through the mouth.
Yeah, and I believe that was a woman's eye, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're right. According to Elm Street, the documentary. Yes, you're right.
I love this though. I love when they starts like the face begins to come out of the chest and shit. It's so good. Here it comes. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking about, man. And you can clearly see that it's Freddy. Like that looks so good. And he looks like he's in pain. He did a good job. Oh yeah, and the slicing and him coming out. Oh
you know
my
who else
God.
I had up on the wall? I had Miss Elizabeth.
Oh
The
yeah,
Macho Man.
from the WWF. Yeah.
No.
This
She
is
actually
so
was on
good.
my
Look at
door.
this. Watch. He stands up. This is so good. The way he rises into frame. Look at that look. Looks so great. He's gonna put on
You're
his
like
hat
a
here.
few seconds ahead of me.
I'm a few seconds ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then the dad's
He's
banging
pounding on the door
door
saying dad, and dad's pounding on the
Look at
door.
him. Oh, yeah, he's like,
Now he just put on the top hat.
not yet. The top hat. You mean the? You mean the,
No, the top Freddy. He just put on the top hat.
Yeah. The fedora. You mean?
Or thank you, Fedora.
Yeah. Yeah, he does that, and it just looks so good. He looks so mean in that low angle shot. Because look at him, he's actually not that much taller than Grady, right? When you see them in the frame together, but when you are watching him just before he approaches Grady, you're watching him, and they're shooting him from a low angle, so he looks very intimidating, very ominous, and I love that. I would have made the same directorial choice. And then, of course, he kills. I love this. Looking in the mirror. Waving at him like, look what you've done. Look what you've done. It's all you, Jesse. You're going to be blamed for it. I love it. Love that shit. He looks so good. Freddy looks so good in this movie. Oh, yes. Look at it. I love the fedora. Yeah. He just looks so good. If he could have looked like that in every single installment, it wouldn't have made the movie good. I mean, you still would have had shit movies, but at least he would have looked great. By the time you get to part 6, he looks like he's got bubble gum on his face. Like you just see everything so clearly.
Oh, that's going to be a shit show when we watch that.
Oh,
Freddy's Dead.
I watched Freddy's Dead for a Saturday movie night about, I don't know, a year ago maybe.
Drink a lot of scotch that night.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get drunk. What a garbage movie that is.
Oh, Colin, yeah, I had Samantha Fox on my wall as well, too. I forgot about that. And Lita Ford. I had both of them.
He's leaving. He's leaving. He's going out the window. Is she topless? Oh, no. Is she topless? No, I don't think so. I don't know I should put my glasses back on. It looked like she was topless there for a minute.
Of course, a lot of the Samantha Fox pictures I got from like the magazines, the metal magazines. In like the little 8x10s put up around your wall. Yeah. We used to have competitions on who could hang up the most pictures on their wall.
Very cool. Can you imagine your friend coming in with blood all over him like this? Like, what the fuck, dude?
I'd have been like, congratulations, you're now a woman.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't even think I have do I have the...
Lolita I had up during the college years, man. That was like, you're talking now the Attitude Era. That's 98 to 2002. That's college years. Yeah, I had Lita up all over the place. My brother had, what's her name? Trish Stratus. He was a big Trish Stratus fan. I was a Lita fan.
She's Canadian. Trish is,
yeah. Lita actually lives down here in Amy Dumas, which is her real name. She lives down here in Georgia, Atlanta area.
I think I remember Lita. Come on, Jesse. Don't let him. No.
I mean, look, like I said, he's good for this movie, but like, you're not going to convince me that he's going to become an A-list actor.
No, and I don't think that's no. And that's
you know
that's
what I mean?
not
like,
that's not what the documentary was about. You have to watch it and because it deals with a lot more than just that. And I can see his point. I certainly can see his point. Like I said, I can see that being a little self-indulgent, but certainly I see the points. Oh no, she isn't topless, is she? No, she's not. She's got a bathing suit on. For some reason,
Stacy Keibler, Ambition 25. She's tall. I mean, she's got great legs, but she's just fucking tall.
Stacy Keibler, who's that again?
She was the tall blonde. She kind of came in towards the end of the Attitude Era. She wasn't there at the beginning.
Yeah.
She came in more like in that like around I want to say 2001, maybe 2-ish time frame, give or take.
Freddy's gonna. I love this. Freddy's about
again
to wreak
great
havoc.
sequence. I love this. I love the effects that
It's
they
a good
pulled.
sequence.
But I just wish it was more of a dream sequence.
Oh, there was a jump cut there with the beers, with the beer.
Yes, big jump cut.
Spray. You could tell because the spray was going like this, and all of a sudden it was going straight. There's a bit of a jump cut, but it's fine. It's happening again. Get out of here. Fight him, Jesse. Fight him. He wants my body. He wants my body.
Guys, who was the first hot blonde just as the Attitude Era was beginning? No, I'm trying to think of it because I also had her on my wall very briefly. Was it Sable? Was that her name? She was kind of at the beginning of the Attitude Era, but she sort of wasn't there when Lita and Trish and Stacy Keibler became in China as well too. Became like the girls of the WWF. Was her name Sable? She was a hot blonde that like was like right on the brink of the Attitude Era. I just can't remember her fucking name.
This is it. Those poor fish in that fucking fish tank. Freddy's coming. I think doesn't he fall behind
Sunny. I think it was Sunny or Sable or something like I don't know. I can't fucking remember now. I could just see her fucking face.
Doesn't he fall behind the? Yeah, there he is.
Oh, that's right. And there were some scenes here, and I thought again creative. They didn't do the glove. They had the knives.
The knives right out of the hand.
fingers.
Yeah, this is so good.
I'd love to have a glove like that. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah, it would. Somebody's got to make one. He's fucking with her too because he talks to her as Jesse too. Yeah, this everything about this Freddy look is great. Like this is great.
Except the sweater. I hate that fucking sweater.
I don't hate it. It's got a shirt on underneath. It's like a gray shirt.
Oh, now he's Mike Tysoning her fucking ankle, biting it.
Yeah. That's what he's doing. Yes. Oh. Ooh. Oh, the bubbles in the pool. Yeah,
they're trying to get in. She's trying to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just fucking up the house like fucking Marvin Harry in Home Alone.
Yeah, Marvin. I thought you said Marvin Harry, like it was one guy's name. I love this when she stabs him and it's clearly not a real knife. It's great. I don't even think that's a real knife she has in her hand now. I think it's a prop knife. There is no Jesse. I'm Jesse. That's what he says. Help me. So good. Yeah, that's a fake knife. You can tell.
No, you can totally tell that's a fake knife.
100%. But it's fine. Works. You can tell it's fake.
Yeah. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. I love that look at his face, little smile, little grin. I'm gonna fuck you up. He says that. I'm gonna fuck you up. Oh, that'd be great. No. Oh God, no! I'm just gonna give up. Lisa.
That glove is kind of rad. I would like to get my hands on that.
Yeah, if they could make a hand with the knives, like right out of the I'm down.
That would be cool.
Yeah, she doesn't like the way or he doesn't like the way she's telling him. He's using the love. He doesn't like it. Now he comes and he disappears, and then he comes up obviously through the ground, which is cool. This whole sequence here is just fun. It's just fun. Like, oh yeah, dad with his rippling pecs. Fucking love that. Look at that dad.
Look at that 80s butt.
It's fucking
on that butt crack on that chick.
Where? Oh, I think it might be behind you. Oh, right there. Oh, I see. I think I know what you're talking about now. This guy's like, where'd he go? Did you see him? Spiky hair girl.
And there's like a blonde dude who kind of looks like a young Steve Carell, but it's
yeah,
not.
You're right. He kind of does. No, it's not. Here he comes. Yes, yes. This is when he starts wreaking havoc. Yeah. Dude, calm down, okay? We're here to help you. Help yourself, fucker. It's coming up. I love it. Help yourself, fucker. Help yourself, fucker. I don't need your fucking help. Help yourself,
fucker.
Yeah, I don't need your fucking help. Help yourself, fucker. He says it with such conviction, you know?
Does he get all the kids here or just some of them?
No, some of them, not all of them.
Yeah.
Just get some of them. And and one of my favorite shots of any Elm Street movie, maybe even any horror movie, is coming up in this movie. In this
Better
movie,
than
it's coming
Tina's
up.
death?
Well, I said shots. Shots, not deaths or scenes. Shots. Just a shot, right? It's one of my favorites. I love that. Just right in there. Oh, yeah, the blood spurting out. Yeah, you're dead, motherfucker. It's just a great shot of Freddy. I love this. Hey,
this one?
No. Oh, well, I don't know how far ahead or behind you are, but
the kid's talking to Freddy.
Yeah. He's like, help, you know, like, we're here to help you, okay? And he's like, help yourself, fucker. Here it comes. Let's calm down, okay? Let's calm down, okay? We're here to help you. I'm going to help you. It's me.
You're talking about where he's like this and the flames behind him?
No, that's a great shot right here. Yep, I must be a little behind you. It's a great shot.
My children now.
Yep. You're all my children now. I love it. It's a great line, a great shot with the flames behind him. It's this shot right here. The dad takes a shot with the rifle. This shot with the flames in front of his face as he's staring at the dad. Oh, the look.
Oh, it's a cool shot.
It's so, look at this. Wait for it. We just had a little bit right there. Oh my God. It's like, what the fuck? It's great. You can see the wetness and the way that Robert Englund turns his body, torques his body, turns, but keeps his head looking that direction. And then as he moves with it. It's very, very nimble, almost like a dancer, you know, he's doing this with his head and then just kind of turns and walks just into the bushes. It's so great. It's a great moment for the character. It's a great look for the character. He looks the way the flames are in front of him. You can see, I've posted photos of that before on social media. Love that look of Freddy. Love that moment.
Sure.
So great. One of my favorite looks of him in the franchise. If only he looked like that in every fucking movie. I mean, I'm fine with the way he looks in the first movie. He looks great in the first movie. But if only he looked like that from every movie, you know, from here on out, like that. In terms of his face.
I hear you.
We got to wrap that up there, Lisa. Got to wrap that up.
Jesus, are we already near the end? Yeah, we are already near the end.
This has flown by, man. We got like 10 minutes, if that.
Oh, this is the goofy looking hounds of hell.
Yeah. There they
could have done a little better with that.
They could have, but hey, you know, it's kind of fun. It's 80s. It's 85. You know, this is sort of where we were in 1985. It's so funny to think that this kind of a movie got a mainstream wide release. Like the slasher subgenre, as I've said to people, because people ask me all the time, why are there no more slasher movies anymore? And I've said, well, you have to remember that the slasher subgenre at one time was huge. It was mainstream. It was, you would go to the theater to see this movie. It was epic. It was gigantic. It was making millions of dollars, relative obviously to its budget and to its time and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't making like Beverly Hills Cop numbers, but I mean, it was big. It would get a release, you know, a studio release you'd go see in the theater. That was horror at that time. Now horror's evolved over the years and the slasher subgenre is really sort of nichey. I mean, it was always nichey, but it's really nichey now. It's
big time.
It's straight to streaming now. That's why you don't get, I mean, yes, you'll get a wide release of Halloween, but that's because it's a proven IP. If they remake Elm Street, if they remake, you know, Friday the 13th, those will go to the theater. Same with Candyman, Hellraiser, all that stuff. Yes, because it's already been done. But in terms of new slashers, you know, somebody new, completely new, you know, they're more risks now than they were 40 years ago.
Though, movies like Unfriended, Follow, Host, Hell House. I'm digging that genre. I'm digging. It's like found footage, I understand, but like Hell House, it's a combination of found footage documentary. And I like that.
I get it.
Same thing with Followed. Followed is like it's sort of documentary style shot. It's not a documentary, but it's shot in documentary style, like a YouTuber vlogging. Creative, you know what I mean? And then of course, obviously, Host and Unfriended are pretty much similar type movies, but creative. And I gotta say, I like that. And I would be very inclined, and even I'm trying to figure out how I could pull it off, even with a character, an original character that I'm creating, to do a slasher film like that. Well, that would, you talk about redefining the genre and bringing slasher up from the grave and doing something that appeals to a younger audience that they can relate to, because that's what horror movies are. Ultimately, that's what horror movies are for. They're for the younger audience. It's not really intended for people our age, even though people our age are fans.
Younger audiences, mostly males. I'm not right. I'm a female and I like it. I know. I just said mostly. When you look at the demographic and the analytics, it's mostly males.
In the style of these new horror movies that have come out here recently, I think it would be fucking creative.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It'd almost be making it like it's realistic, like it's a real thing fucking happening.
Yeah, I understand. I think too that I mean, obviously, at the time, back in the 80s, I mean, nobody had seen anything like this kind of thing before.
No, so none of this shit was here. This was all new.
It was all new. Now we've been there, done that. And that's why largely, the novelty's worn off. But you'll always see like a return to the movie theater with like a Freddy or a Jason or a Michael or a Candyman, because they're potentially proven IPs. It's less of a risk. It's more of a risk when you introduce a new slasher that nobody's heard of before. It's... can be very risky in today's climate.
Of course, now with everything going straight to like Netflix and Shudder too.
That's true. Well,
and there's nothing wrong with that, man. If you get a Netflix deal or a Shudder deal, this isn't like it was like, like back in the day, like in the 90s when your movies would go straight to VOD, like video, like on demand, like, or not on demand, but video on the shelf. That was not a cool thing. But now, like Leonardo DiCaprio just signed on to do a Netflix film. You know what I mean? So it's like the straight to streaming thing has changed everything. So it's not like it doesn't have that like stigma to it where it did like many, many years ago.
DMT Infinity says, I don't know females like horror movies, despite the fact that him and his girlfriend watch horror movies together and she loves them. Confirmed. No, actually, that's not true. Actually, my girlfriend is not a big horror movie fan. She likes psychological thrillers, but she doesn't like slasher movies. And I rarely ever watch. I rarely watch horror movies. Every girl I've
dated, the same thing. They're not big horror fans.
A lot of girls. There are girls that love horror, but when you look at
and there's girls that follow my Instagram that love horror. Of course, but girls that I've dated, no.
Generally speaking, it is a male-driven obsession. In terms of the slasher subgenre, for sure. But no, actually, my girlfriend,
what the fuck's
not a
wrong
big
with us? Do we subconsciously want to be serial killers?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Perhaps. This is the end of Freddy, or so.
I need to recreate this.
Yeah.
Just kiss me with the mask on.
You imagine.
It's for the art.
This is great. It's a great scene, though. It's a great moment.
Oh, yeah. The fire effects, very cool.
Yeah, running down the railing and stuff. I always liked this. Yeah, and he's melting.
It sounds like I was going to say, it sounds like a steroid version of the Wicked Witch.
Yeah. But it's so cool though. Like just looking through the flames at him melting there in the background. It's really cool. Like it is. Look at that. That's so cool. I love those practical effects, man.
It's good shit.
Like yes, I can tell it, obviously Robert, just the way he's moving and stuff. Sure. But I will take that today, and maybe it's, our age, I'll take that today over any CG melting. And again, I'm not a CG hater. Computer generated imagery
when done correctly
is incredibly important. It's cheaper.
Yes.
It's not cheap. I just mean it's cheaper. It can be faster depending on how many people you have working on certain parts of the frame, and it's a whole thing. But certainly I get it. And when, as Tony said, when it is done right, meaning when you complement, I believe the best use of computer generated imagery is when you are complementing it with practical effects. And so
just look at almost every Chris Nolan film. I mean, because he's a big champion of practical, getting as much as he can in camera. Obviously, like a movie like Interstellar, when they're going through space and shit, we know that. But the ship they built, a lot of the locations when they were landing, like on the water planet, that was a fucking legit location. You know what I mean? Like, so
they were literally on another planet. No,
or or wherever they were. Like, and then like the scene where they go to Matt Damon's planet and save Matt Damon because Matt Damon needs to be saved in like every fucking movie now.
I know.
Well, he does. Look, Saving Private Ryan, fucking the Mars movie, fucking Interstellar. Yeah, we spent more than enough money in Hollywood saving Matt Damon.
It's true. It's true. Lisa and Jesse are about to reunite here. Jesse is won. They've won. They've beat Freddy Krueger. And she's walking over.
My point is, if you watch a Nolan film, a lot of it's practical, and he uses CGI sparingly, and that's how it should be. Well, it's like the original Star Wars. That's what makes it so great.
Well, but even
it's the practical effects.
Even the new Star Wars films, say what you want about. I don't care if you don't like them or not, but in terms of the visual effects, there are a lot of practical effects with visual effects.
Oh, one of my favorite scenes
is done it beautifully.
The audio sound dropping when the ship goes colliding.
Well,
and I saw how they did that. It's cool.
Yeah. No, it's the
still a shitty story.
The Star Wars movies today, in terms of their effects, are still fantastic, and they blend the practical with the CG beautifully.
And that directly across the street, folks, is Johnny Depp's house. That's the only time we see that in the movie.
That's right. Yeah, right there. There it is.
Glenn.
Poor Glenn. See you later. Yeah, getting on the bus. Look at him. Watch this. Who does this? Woo! Who runs to the bus going, woo!
Hey, Ooh, he's feeling good.
He's feeling good. He's on the bus.
I was never that excited to go to school, but he's feeling good.
I've never been that excited to hop, skip, and a jump on my way to the school bus. Ladies and gentlemen, hop, skipping, and jumping on the way to the school bus. But this is great. There's a little bit of a jump cut here, obviously, when his hand comes out of her chest. But I mean, it's still really well done, and obviously a great way to end the movie. I love this moment too. Like, I think we're going too fast. We're going too fast. No, we're not. Everything's fine. Just that paranoia that he has is nice. I like that. Who's this guy getting on the bus? And whatever happened to him? This guy right here. Can we track this guy down? I want to get an interview with him. The guy getting on.
The
fat guy that just sat down there at the front. I want to get him on the show.
There you go.
Yeah. Here it comes. Yes, here it is. Yes!
There you go.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, 1985. There was not an Elm Street movie the next year in 86. It was followed up by 1987's Dream Warrior.
I actually like this song they chose at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The creepy dream, the dream from the 20s, whatever it is. I forget the name of this song.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, it's... Yeah, did you ever hear a dream walking? Well, I do. It's great. It's a great tune.
You know what we didn't hear? We didn't hear the actual Elm Street melody.
I think I have the Elm Street 2 soundtrack. I think it is in there a little bit, mixed in with some of the stuff. So maybe it isn't. Maybe
I mean, you heard the jump rope thing, but you never heard the actual.
No, I actually love the Elm Street 2 soundtrack as well. I like the first one, but I like the Elm Street 2 soundtrack. There's some cool shit when you get the Elm Street 2 soundtrack and you listen to it on its own, isolated away from the film. It's great. It's great. It's eerie and creepy and fucking weird and shit, and it's fantastic. Let's move over and see what you guys are saying. Let's go over to the super chats that came in and see if we can get these. Priesty Buddy says a $2. I don't have my glasses on here. $2 super chat says, Dave and Tony missed you guys. Dave and Tony missed you guys, bros. Back to. I think you said you've missed us and you're glad we're back. Appreciate it, man. That movie nerd 95 $4.99 super chat says threw my back out picking up wrapping paper. So laying in the chair and watching the two best guys around. Well, that movie nerd, I certainly hope your back gets better. I hope so. Joseph Formato sends in a super chat, says, been forever since I've been able to watch Two Dudes or McRae live, so very happy to be here. Can't wait for It's Me, Billy Dave. Thank you very much, Joseph. Really appreciate that, man. Matthew Foresi sends in a $4.99 super chat and says, so, who has the better male scream, Jesse or Trent from the Friday the 13th remake?
Oh, that's right.
Ooh, that's good.
I don't know. Watching Home Alone the other day, I got to say Marv, man. Marv has got the best male scream queen. Scream queen. Honorary scream queen.
Yes. Yeah.
He fucking hits that high note when that tarantula gets put on him.
He does. He hits
like no other dude I've ever heard scream before.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. That is a good point. Joseph Formato follows up with Trent's scream is just comedic as fuck. Blood Red Skies, thank you, buddy, says this film reminds me of Donnie Darko slightly. Interesting. I've never made that connection, but fascinating.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. That's a good film. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, it is a good movie. 2000, I think, somewhere around there. Southpaw 82, $5 super chat says, why did the quality of Freddy's makeup get so cheap looking as the series progressed? Makeup techniques improved. You'd think they would take advantage. I don't think it's necessarily that his effects look cheap. I think it's that I believe that each movie had a different artist, had a different visual effects makeup artist that wanted to put their own stamp on things. Obviously, you have a director that wants his vision executed. I'd have to brush up on the Elm Street documentary again. It's like 10 hours long. I'd have to brush up on it, but I know they do touch on the different looks of Freddy, and it doesn't come down to certainly it does not come down to we don't want to spend money, we're just going to do cheap things. The makeup effects, even in Freddy's Dead, I can tell you would have cost a fortune. It's just different styles, different looks. It's really not. Listen, I'm not a fan of the Freddy makeup in Part 6, but it's not just that the makeup looks like shit to me. It's how brightly lit he is. And I think, again, this goes back, Dave and his, darkness thing again. But I think, characters like Freddy or Jason or, Michael, whatever, especially Michael because of the type of character he is. But Freddy is a dream master. He's a boogeyman of sorts, but in your dreams. And I think he works best lit in the ways that you saw him lit here in this movie. Now, you saw him in this movie, but it was never under any bright light. A lot of the makeup effects were very dark, a lot of wetness to the makeup. He was silhouetted a lot. The brim of the fedora would cast shadows over his faces. It was better all around. So yeah, it's not that just the effects are not to our, because you look at the effects or the makeup effects in 3 and 4, they're different, but they're not, I don't look cheap or anything like that. It's just the way they light him, the way they present Freddy and how he's comedic now and he's cracking one-liners and he's out there, in the daylight and it's just
the first 2 films he's still creepy.
He's still fucking scary. He's scary as fuck in the first 2 movies. In 3, there's like a hybrid. That's the change.
Still scary, but they saw something with the one-liners, and then they just started to go with that.
Right, and then by 6, it's just they jumped the shark. It's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? So yeah. Joseph Formato sends in a $2 super chat and says, probably didn't care as much as time progressed. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I can tell you that would not have been the case. Not at all. It's just you have different directors with different visions, different makeup artists working with those directors that have different visions that want to put their own stamp on things. And that's what happens. Let's see. Let's go over to the chat room. I think I got every super chat so far anyway. Bishop Walters. Oh, I was talking to Cody in the chat. That's nice of you guys chatting to each other. Let's see here. Nathan Heinz says, do you guys still plan on watching Zodiac? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Eventually.
In fact, I'm in the middle of reading the book that it's based on, the Robert Graysmith book. Rereading it, I should say, freshening up on it.
Right, exactly.
Well, he's really set on Arthur Lee Allen being the guy. I'm not totally sold on Arthur Lee Allen being Zodiac. Totally everything points in his direction, but that DNA, man, that DNA evidence definitely, it definitely put a monkey wrench in Graysmith's, with Graysmith really going after Arthur Lee Allen, because you can't really deny DNA.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true. Yeah, no, it's...
You know who else I just started to read up on, and I caught a bit of him on Mindhunter,
I think it is.
I think is what it's called on Netflix. But this motherfucker, Ed Kemper.
Yep.
You ever heard of him?
I have.
That motherfucker. Whew.
Yeah.
That dude, man, god damn, that fucker's way the fuck out there. Talk about, he is like the pinnacle of what you want, like what fucking Jason and Michael, like for those of you who don't know who Ed Kemper is, he is the big version of serial killers. The dude is like 6'9", and he's a big dude. And the shit that he did, dude, oh my
he's
God,
a big dude.
Talk about doing a fucking movie on him, man. Talk about going dark. You'd be going really dark.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude for sure.
Creepy too, just fucking, and not only just creepy, but like very articulate and smart. Mm-hmm. Like
a lot of them are.
You ever see his interviews, which there aren't many of, but if you ever see his interviews, the dude is like, I mean, he's not just like some dumb fuck. You know what I mean? Like he's very intelligent. Yeah. He was very methodical, and if he never turned himself in, he probably would have gotten away with the shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yeah, I just read up on him. That dude is just like...
Vanderhoff, 66FU. Hey, Dave, what's going on, buddy? He says, Dave, the name of the street that the Elm Street house is on is Genesee Avenue. Yes, that's right. That's right. Thank you. I knew it started with a G. Genesee Avenue off Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood. It's literally down the street from Orange Grove, literally like a stone's throw away. Well, not literally a stone's throw away, but you know what I mean. From Orange Grove, which is where the Doyle house and the Wallace house are. Sweet Tea sends in a very generous super chat of $10. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea, for the channel, my friends. P.S. Dave and the teaser is awesome. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. I'm really glad you enjoyed the teaser. Yeah, so far the feedback has been great, and we're really pleased with it. I think the teaser's got about 6,500 views so far, which is great. And somebody reached out to me the other day. I'll talk a bit about this tomorrow morning too. Somebody said, how come it doesn't have more? And I said, there's a couple of reasons why that is. First, you have to understand, it's Christmas time. We dropped it on Christmas Eve, right? So there's a lot of people that don't know about it yet, a lot of publications that weren't able to pick it up because, they weren't writing, that kind of thing. But also, too, you have to understand that this isn't Friday the 13th. This isn't A Nightmare on Elm Street. This isn't Halloween. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, Black Christmas is just not an IP that a lot of people give a shit about. It's too bad, but it's one of those obscure, under the radar cult films that not a lot of people have seen. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be, the amount of people that have reached out to me and said, I've seen your teaser, I love it, I've never seen the original movie, I want to go watch it. There's a lot of people that just have never seen Black Christmas. So it's not the kind of thing that is going to get, 400,000 views, right? I mean, it's just not, I mean, it might, I mean, the movie might eventually, depending on what kind of hype we can drum it up. I mean, we're going to do our best to drum up, the marketing and the hype as best we can, but whether it's going to hit Never Hike Alone numbers, I mean, I think Vince's trailer for Never Hike in the Snow has like 250,000 views or something. But that's also because people knew about him because of Never Hike Alone. And 2, it's Friday the 13th. People are just crazy and hungry for anything Jason Voorhees because of what's
especially
been going
right
on.
now, because Jason's been absent for so fucking
Exactly.
long.
And it's Jason Voorhees. If you were to take a poll, which movie do you like better? Friday the 13th or it's no comparison. Black Christmas will lose every day of the week, twice on Sunday, because it's also a different kind of movie as well. Although it is a slasher movie and it's one of the first earliest ones, it's more, theater of the mind, it's slow burn, it's psychological, it's dated now. It's like watching Psycho, right? In the sense of it's that kind of a movie, very sort of under the radar, slow atmosphere, psychological. It's not Friday the 13th. It's not Halloween. So
True.
We're pleased with the numbers so far. 6,500 views in a few days. We're pleased. If we can get to 10,000, that would be great. That'd be great for a teaser trailer for a Black Christmas fan film. I think would be great. And we'll see. People are just still discovering it. They're discovering this fan film. They're discovering Black Christmas. They're discovering this, me and the channel and Tony and everything that we're doing on it. People are still discovering us and still discovering it. So hopefully it'll gain traction. Hopefully by the time that the trailer drops next year and the movie comes out, maybe it'll pick up even more and maybe we can get over 100,000 views. Who knows? But we're realistic with the expectations because unfortunately it's just a property that not a lot of people are excited about. Ironically, though, the good news is that most people who've never seen it, who watch it, really like it. And that's good too. And hopefully It's Me, Billy, and the teaser will at the very least get people to go back and watch the original. So, but we're pleased with it. We're excited. And obviously with, the quality and the production value and the hard work that we've put in, we have the mindset of it's the fan film you didn't know you wanted. And we're doing everything we can to not be ignored, and hopefully it will speak for itself. So, cause so far it is. So we're really excited, really, really happy with that. Well, this is a good one. Kenny says, Dave, did you get any creepy vibes about the mansion in It's Me, Billy? Do you think it could be haunted? No, we didn't get any creepy vibes, although, quick story, there was a murder that happened at that house 4 years ago. The owners who own the house now are not the same owners that had the house 4 years ago. There was a murder-suicide. And the guy that lived in the house had lived in the house for years. And he was a local community politician or something like that in the area. And very well known. And his daughter had a boyfriend.
Last name Trump?
No. That's right. I have this mansion, murder-suicide.
Came back to life to win the presidency.
But so he had a daughter. He was older, probably in his 60s or something. So his daughter, let's say, was, I don't know, our age or something, maybe a bit younger. She had a boyfriend who came over to the house, killed him,
Damn.
shot her, turned the gun on himself, killed himself.
That's some Amityville shit.
But she survived. I believe she survived. He died, the owner, the older guy. He died. The killer died because he turned the gun on himself, and she was injured, but I think she survived, if I'm not mistaken. And that was that was like at the end of 2016 or something like that. And then John and his wife, who are the owners now, bought it like a year later, and they live there now. But what's funny is that I could have sworn, I mean this sincerely, I could have sworn I told the girls, and I mean the girls, the actors, about this. So when we're at the house, I start into it and they're like, wait a minute, you didn't tell us this. Like, you mean there was a murder here? And we're already there, settled in, and we had a good laugh about it. I'm like, I thought I did. They're like, sure, Dave, you just wanted to get us here before you told us that story. We were all joking, obviously, but they were like, oh God, if we weren't creeped out already, now, you know what I mean? But
now you are.
Yeah, but nothing, I slept like a baby. I didn't, I wasn't scared or anything in the house.
You didn't have a Lorraine Amityville Warren moment?
No.
Where you saw DeFeo going around shooting people?
No.
Didn't see the boyfriend shooting?
Didn't have that. And, There were many times where I was alone, like at night, obviously I'm alone and I'm lying there and I felt comfortable. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. And it's, well, I mean, you've seen the house. I mean, yeah. I didn't feel anything. And I asked her, I asked the others that were there, obviously, the girls and Bruce and Greg who stayed at the house. I said, "Do you guys feel anything?" Like, no, we slept fine. Weren't scared. Weren't like, even after telling them that story, they weren't scared. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, no, I didn't feel anything. Joseph Formato, $2 super chat says, Myers poster in recording room looks great day. Oh, you mean this one here? Yes, that's cool. That's a cool poster. Pretty cool. I'm assuming you mean that one and not the one behind me there on the door. You can hardly see that one. That's the 2018 one. Tony, you pick one.
What?
Oh, it's the question.
Oh, you had another super chat.
Oh, do I? Oh, you're right, I do. Blood Red Skies. $2 super chat says, It's Me, Billy, set in the 90s or present day? It's set, it's not set in the 90s. It's set, as the synopsis says, it's essentially 50 years later. Now, that doesn't mean that it's 50 years on the dot. There are some people like, because Bloody Disgusting ran with the headline, fan film takes place 50 years later. And so some people are like, so it's 2024. And it's like, well, for all intents and purposes, it's 50 years later. It could be 47, could be 48.
God damn, how old is Billy?
Well, Billy, if he was, he would be in his late 60s, early 70s. No.
How old was he in the first film?
They don't say, but I mean, let's say he was 23, let's say, right? Let's say he was around the age of the girls, right? Let's say he's 23, right? So you do 46 years later, that's 69.
70.
69, 70, I mean, it's can be pretty creepy as a 70-year-old old guy fucking still doing that shit. So, and we feel we've displayed it convincingly. So, but no, it takes place present day, for all intents and purposes. So like, whatever. We don't specifically say in the movie. You just know that it's years later. It's not the 90s. No, it's not the 90s. Colin Murdy, the reason Freddy's makeup became worse is because Robert Englund didn't want to sit in the makeup chair as long anymore. I read it in some interview a few years ago. That could be part of it, or it might be more of the process. There's different ways you can apply prosthetic makeup. So I would be surprised if that was the reason why it became worse, because worse is also a matter of opinion, right? Somebody might look at the Elm Street 6 and think it looks, it looks great. I think maybe the moving away from the wet look and the heavy detail, there's probably some truth to that, actually, because it sped up the process a bit. But I still don't think it was, a decision of we just don't care. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Frank Riker, $5 super chat says, for the sexy help yourself MFers in the chat. Help yourself, fuckers. I love it. That's great. That's so good. It's so good. Zach Gaxiola says, Dave, are you excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, even though Hayden Christensen is returning? I'm indifferent. I'll check it out, obviously, but I'm indifferent. I'm neither excited or not excited.
Yeah, I have a weird, I don't know, man. Like I saw Mandalorian, I know what happened, and I watched it and I was just like, I don't know. I think I'm checked out on Star Wars. I just, it's not really for me anymore. I mean, it's like, I think it's cool that Hayden's coming. I heard that. And I think he definitely deserves some redemption. I'm a fan of the prequels. I'm definitely a fan of Revenge of the Sith. That's in my top 3 favorite Star Wars films. But yeah, so much bullshit that's happened with that franchise. And Mark Hamill on Twitter doesn't fucking help himself either, because that dude is just a fucking old grumpy douchebag. I mean, for real. It just, I don't know.
No, I hear you.
I mean, look, you have one of fucking Disney's people who works for Lucasfilms ripping on the guy, Star Wars theory guy, and that's like all over YouTube right now. YouTubers are making videos on that because the Star Wars theory guy, I guess, got emotional seeing Luke Skywalker and did it publicly. And and I did. One of the people who actually work for Lucasfilms poked fun of him for it, and I was just like, bro, like, I mean,
bad. I didn't hear about that.
It is an extreme reaction, but you know, like for someone, like he says, you know, for someone who's a big fan, and he's a super fan, the Star Wars theory guy. I mean, like, I've never met a fan like him. He knows his shit, and for him, that was a fucking moment to see his boy Luke, you know, doing his thing. And I get it. Look, I mean, I don't think I'd be moved to tears, but in a smaller comparison, you know, if I ever, it'll never happen, but if the opportunity ever came where you got to see Jamie Lee Curtis with Danielle Harris on screen as mother and daughter, you know what I mean? Like, that would be fucking cool. I don't think I'd cry, but it would be fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, well, everybody it would be a has cool different moment as a fan of the franchise, you know? So I get where that dude was coming from, but to have someone who works, like, you work for the fucking company that this kid is whatever is a fan of, and I didn't hear Star Wars. I'm over it.
I didn't hear about that. No, I did a video about fandom and stuff, and I just think that as I get older, look, there's different. I celebrate if you are like the guy from what's the channel you were just talking about?
Star Wars Theory.
Star Wars Theory.
Yeah, Star Wars Theory.
He's a big fan.
Yeah.
I mean,
got like 2 million followers. That's his whole thing. Like, he does great identity. Star Wars videos. He gets knee deep into all that fucking shit and does really good.
You content. Know what? And if that's your thing, that's great. And I celebrate that. And I sincerely mean that. I think it's amazing that somebody can be so passionate about something. And I did a McRae Live, as I said, you know, a couple of weeks ago, talking about fandom and how I don't know what kind of fan I am anymore, because we're so inundated with that level of fandom that it almost leads one to believe that in order to be a fan, you must be this kind of fan. In order to be a fan, you must like this and not like this. And you must
back in the day, we didn't give a shit. We were just fans.
I didn't care about that at all. And so it was just, you know, now it's so black and white, and there's so, you know, identity politics around it. And I don't mean identity politics in the real sense. In terms of the fandom, I mean, like in the fandom world, in terms of what kind of fan are you? I'm this fan. No, you're not that fan. You like this, don't like this. And I'm 41 years old, man. And not to say that you can't be 51 and balls to the wall, love the shit that you love, but I just don't have the time to care and invest that deeply. And you know, bless you if you do. But like I said, when I see 10 new Star Wars shows announced, my first thought isn't euphoria. My first thought is, how the fuck am I going to watch all this? I can barely watch The Mandalorian. I've still only seen the first 2 episodes of season 2 of The Mandalorian. I know what happens. I know Luke and Grogu, that's his name, and Luke comes in bad CGI. I know all about it, because you can't fucking go online without seeing it. And it doesn't spoil it for me, because I still enjoy the journey of watching it unfold, which I will eventually do. But the fact is that it's like I've still only watched the first 2 episodes. So it's like, how am I going to watch? I mean, I don't know what kind of fan I am. I mean, I come from a world where there were 3 movies and that was it. And it was easy to follow. And I'm also a very linear, as I've said before on my own show, I'm a very linear storyteller. I'm a very linear fan, I think. I like things to be in straight lines. It's not that I don't think there's value in prequels, or there's aren't certain prequels to certain movies and franchises that I don't like either. But I think at the end of the day, I am a very linear person. I like A, B, C. I like part 1, part 2. I don't want to go 1, 2, go back and then head and then back. And then it's like, no. Don't do that. It feels messy to me. It feels convoluted. It feels like we
like
should.
The whole Halloween choose your adventure bullshit.
Well, but that was incompetence. They didn't do that because they thought it was good. They did that because they ran into a wall. But I just don't. It feels messy. It feels like we should finish what we start before we ever go back and and do something else, or go back at all. I never wanted to go back and know how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. I didn't care. I just wanted to continue to go forward. That's how I am, and I think because there's so many books and cartoons and games and comics and this and that, and I hate the idea of having to read a book, paragraph 3, page 2, section 5, sentence 1 to figure out what it meant in the movie. It's like, no, tell me what it fucking means in the movie. I don't want to have to then go fucking read a book to know what it fucking means. Now, there are people out there that love that kind of thing because it's more material. Oh yes, books, comics, games, more, bigger. That's great. It's just not for me. It's just not, I can't. It's time consuming. It's time consuming. It's too much. There's too much going on. I have more important things I have to deal with. I got other things going on, and bless you if you have the time to sit down and watch all this and invest. I wish I did, and I don't say that in a condescending way. I don't mean it to sound like I'm better than you. Not at all. We're just different. You have the time to do it. You have the passion to do it. You have the time to invest in it. I think that's amazing because part of me wishes I could be like that because it's so fun seeing people so excited about shit. I just look at it and I'm just like, oh my God, 10 more? What the fuck? 10? I don't have time. I mean, Jesus Christ, what the hell? So when people say, are you excited for the Obi-Wan series? Like, no. If Disney said tomorrow that they are canceling Obi-Wan, I'd be like, okay, I couldn't care less. I really don't care. But, when it comes out, sure, I'll sit and watch it because it's Obi-Wan. It's a character that I know. It's Ewan McGregor, and sure. But the idea of all this stuff, man, I don't understand it. I guess I don't know, and I know that I'm not alone.
No, I get, like I said, man,
you're the same way. Like I know there are other people that are like that too.
I think I'm just not feeling Star Wars anymore. You know what I mean? I think I'll always watch the first 6 movies when I'm in a mood to watch them, but my interest in the franchise it's checked out.
It's because it's too saturated. I can't. Yeah. We can't keep up, Tony. There's too much. There's too much mythology. There's too much material. There's too many characters. There's too many pages to read. There's too many cartoons to watch. There's too many to know what the fuck is going on. And I just don't care. I can't. I loved it when I could watch 3 movies and I knew everything I needed to know. I didn't need everything handed to me on a silver platter. I didn't need everything filled in for me. I didn't need every blank page written. I didn't need every sentence spelled out. I could fill in the blanks on my own. I didn't need it. And now it's like they're trying to fill in everything. Well, I see headlines, new show fills in this guy, new show fills in that. Oh God, don't. You take the mystique out of it. You take the mystery out of it. You take the magic out of it when you start explaining everything, It's just how I feel. It's
true, man.
That's me.
Yep.
Anyway, let's see here. A couple super chats here. Nightmare Kid sends in a $5 super chat, says, How did an elder like Lori get up so quick after falling so high in H18? Does she have Michael's strength and agility? All that for a callback? Well,
this is the deep shit that we were just talking about.
This is exactly what.
This is exactly what you were just.
It's like does she, and look, she got up. I don't think Lori.
She doesn't have powers.
Lori's not an.
Not reading into it.
And I don't think that Lori's an elder. It's not like she was like
she's older.
Michael, are you in here?
No, look, man. If you take care of yourself, dude, my dad is 65 and he can do shit like he's in his 40s.
Oh, for sure. I mean? And look, Lori looked fine. She looked absolutely more than capable of falling off that height and getting back up. You know what I mean?
In real life, man, JLC is fucking hot.
Yeah, and she wasn't.
She looks great,
and she was injured too. When she got back up, and she had bumps and bruises and cuts, so it's not like she was completely unscathed, but it's that kind of. Do you think, like, I've had people message me, and bless them, I love you guys, I really do, but it's just I laugh because I think I don't think that deeply about it, and you guys know how deeply I think, but I never think about what do I think Donald Pleasance would do when he got up in the morning and he what kind of tie does he like to wear?
You think he brushed his teeth or made coffee first?
Yeah, exactly. It's like
he went for the fucking scotch.
I don't know. I don't don't think about it. I don't, you know, and some.
Well, I told you that last week. Like someone sent me a DM about the kid out there who makes those Scream videos. Like, where was, you know, Billy during this kill? Where was Stu? Like,
right.
I'm like, bro, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's not a diss at the YouTuber.
No,
I think it's great that he's found an audience and he's found a voice
for sure, man,
with the stuff that he's creating. But I don't give a flying fuck what Billy and Stu are doing.
It's
you know,
but it's the reason that I've said too, right? How I don't with Halloween, how I don't want to go back. And listen, it's not that I wouldn't watch it. It's not that I wouldn't tune in to see what it was like. And it doesn't mean that I wouldn't think that it was well done, right? But it's about what I need or what I feel that I don't need that. For me, like a Loomis series, you know, it's like, let's go and tell the Loomis backstory. No, let's not. I know everything I need to know about Dr. Loomis.
But it is something that they would do nowadays.
Oh, 100%. It's something they may likely do. But my argument against it, if I was in the writer's room, I would say, here, listen, you're going to do what you're going to do, and you're probably going to do it anyway. But my argument against it, my one worry is that in order for Loomis's years as a young psychiatrist to be interesting, you would have to introduce patients that are arguably even more or just as interesting as Michael Myers. And I am led to believe, it's like Die Hard, right? I'll get to Die Hard in a second. We are led to believe that Loomis, a man of science, has never in his life come across anybody like Michael Myers, right? It's the first time that he's been met with something like this, right? Michael Myers is the pinnacle of this. He's the granddaddy. You can't have other people like Michael in a Loomis series when Loomis is in university and then it's his first year at as a psychiatrist and he's meeting. I mean, I don't. Because you're going to water down the eventual Michael Myers if you introduce somebody even crazier than Michael, right? You can't. It's like Die Hard when they said that they wanted to do a prequel to Die Hard and call it Die Hard Year One. We are led to believe that John McClane, although a good cop and a tough cop and a wise cop and a smart cop, has never been in a situation ever before in his life like he was at Nakatomi, right? Am I right?
Exactly.
I'm right. He's never been in it. It was an ordinary man in an extraordinary situation. He's never been in it. Never happened. He didn't even think he was going to get out of it at one point. It really tested him, his wit and his smarts as a cop. He's never done this before. He's never been in this before. So what is a prequel to a young John McClane going to be? Him at a desk job? I mean, you can't have him going through crazy shit when he's 25 because he's never been through this. It devalues and waters down the everyday man, ordinary man in an extraordinary situation that you get in Die Hard. That's why you shouldn't do a backstory to John McClane. John McClane was just a regular cop doing regular shit.
Visiting his wife.
Yeah, he wasn't. And then boom, all of a sudden this happens. You know, this idea of going back, let it go.
The whole thing of Die Hard is it's a by chance circumstance movie.
Exactly.
Everything is by chance. It just
100%.
You know, he wasn't planning to go out there to fucking save, the building.
Exactly.
He was planning to go out there to, mend the bridge between him and his wife.
And it just lucked out that a smart cop, right? A smart guy. And maybe he's been into a few little things as a cop, but nothing like Nakatomi. And what are you going to do? You're going to have a massive, modern day action movie with a young John McClane, which makes no sense because he's never been through it by the time he gets to Nakatomi. So, it's things like that where it's like, Loomis, yeah, I mean, it's not that you couldn't do something interesting, but then what are you going to have? Some character that he's a psychiatrist, with that's even more crazy than Michael? I mean, it doesn't...
If I was in the writer's room and they're pitching that idea of a Loomis series, to quote Chevy Chase from National Lampoon's Vacation, I would look at them all and say, I think you're all fucked in the head.
I think you're all fucked in the head.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say, and then get up and walk out.
We're 2 hours from the fucking theme park, and you want to call it quits or whatever he says.
I let them go through their whole pitch, do everything, and all I would do, and they would be like, Tony, what do you think? What do you think, Tony?
Yeah.
I'd look at everybody. Yeah. I think you're all fucked in the head. Get up and walk out.
And again, but I recognize and I acknowledge that there are people out there that would love a Loomis series that doesn't affect them that way at all. The more the better. They don't care if there's somebody even crazier than Michael before Michael. They don't care about that. They don't care. It doesn't affect them that way. They want more and more. And you know what? Because there are a lot of people out there and that's the way we go. Because fans consume it, they will create it. And I just realized that I'm just not. I'm still a fan now, but I'm not that kind of fan.
Fan film, if someone wanted to, that I'm cool with. You know what I mean? Like, that's the cool thing with fan films, okay? And that's why I think this is eventually going to evolve with YouTube and whatever other platforms out there that you can post fan films on. I truly believe that's where we're heading, because films like yours and films like Vincent's and the guy who's doing Mama's Boy there, the special boy, what's his name?
James Grimm.
James, yeah. Eventually when I can get to mine, this is going to be where filmmaking goes. And if someone wants to tackle the Loomis backstory in a fan film, fuck yeah, man. It's a fan film. That's what makes a fan film so great. And you can put your own theory and spin on it. But for Hollywood to put a whole fucking production behind it and turn it into like a Hulu or Netflix series or some shit, no.
Well, and it all depends on what people consider canon, right? If it's an amateur fan film that clearly is the production value and the quality doesn't say that it can be easier psychologically to say, well, this is just a fan film. It's not a big deal. The higher the production value becomes on fan films, it gets harder to do that because they look real because they are, with Vince, and what he did with Never Hike in the Snow and Never Hike Alone. It looks like a real, movie because, well, it is. It's just a fan film by subgenre, but all the equipment, the people, everything that he used, it's a film.
It's a fucking film.
Yeah. We would have done the same thing. We would have hired the same people, gone through the same process, rented the same gear, the same cameras that we did for It's Me, Billy if we were working on an original piece.
Dude, there's some Star Wars fan film that, it blows me away the amount of work that these dudes put 100%. Into it. Again, the Star Wars Theory guy, his Vader film was fucking amazing. He did a great job with that. Yeah. And that's what I mean by, I think the evolution of filmmaking is going to become fan films because we get it. And when you take a product like Black Christmas or Vincent doing Jason, me doing Jason, you're probably going to eventually get to Michael at some point. Right. You're going to protect. First of all, you're going to protect the IP. You're a fan yourself, and you also know there's already a bit of an expectation from people. So you sort of, you know what people want. You're not going to show up in there as some executive producer who fucking doesn't know his fucking dick from his asshole. Be like, I think what this scene needs
there's a lot of turning heads. That's for sure.
We need Michael to take his mask off and we need a single teardrop. I would have loved to have been there, been like, and when they were filming Halloween 5 and just said, why does anybody think this is even remotely a good idea? What the fuck? Come on.
Well,
and that's because when most movies are made, they're done by fucking dickless producers, okay, who don't know their fucking left foot from their right foot, okay? And they have no idea, but they think they do, so they're going to do all this shit.
Well, there definitely is a separation between the bureaucrats at the studio level and the creative filmmakers below them, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Huge.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, man. I think what you guys are doing, man, it's like I said, it's inspiring. It motivates creators like myself to be like, okay, well, this is the bar that Dave and Vincent set. Well, that's the bar I got to fucking reach. You know what I mean? Watching what you guys do, I can't half-ass it with Crystal Lake. I've got to go balls in. You know what I mean? I can't just be like, well, here's my fucking point and shoot, and there you go, call it a day.
Yeah. Well,
if I want credibility for my film, this is the bar that's been set. And I like that because I like being challenged. I like going, okay, that's what they did. This is what I got.
Well, and it was only a matter of time that fan films were going to do that. Listen, I was one of the earliest fan film makers on YouTube. My first fan film was from 2009. And, when you go back 11 years, almost 12 years ago now, when nobody was making Halloween fan films, nobody was making Halloween fan films. When I began putting my little 5-minute shorts of me walking around my house, in my Michael Myers outfit. Nobody was making that shit. And I was just doing that with a camera. I was doing it just with a home video camera with no intention to make it look like, what we're doing now. I just wanted to do it because it was fun. But it was only a matter of time before I think fan films began to move into professional territory. I think it was. I think it was. I'm surprised it's taken this long, actually. But it was only a matter of time. And
well, it's tough, man, because look, you can do a great film if you have good audio. You could do a great film with the GH5 and it can look butter. Believe me, I'm doing some test shits right now and you can get there with it, especially if you really want it to look like an 80s gritty film, which is what I'm going for on my Crystal Lake
It's a
film.
full frame camera, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you want, just that one up, now you got to go with the RE or whatever you choose. The red. The red is another great one. But it's money. It's
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's tough to ask people for money to say, hey, listen, guys, there's almost nothing in it in return. Yeah. Yes, you did some giveaways and all that shit, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? But you're asking people like, hey, could you support this project? Because we have no other way of funding it. That's not a fucking easy thing to do.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's extremely difficult.
It is.
And it's frustrating that people don't understand that side of it, because I think they would have a greater appreciation for what you guys just did and what I fucking do and try to do with my photos. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of fucking money you're not getting anything in return from it. You personally, you're not making anything.
No, I didn't. No, myself and Bruce didn't make a penny off of this. We didn't. We raised $64,000. It all went towards the production of the movie. None of it, literally zero, has gone to Bruce and I. And the reason is
all that work.
Yes. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. All the Indiegogo campaign, the Billy-a-thons, the graphics, the posters, the live
you took
streams,
off from work.
The week.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I didn't
get paid.
No, because I'm not on a payroll. I took that week off, so I'm not doing voiceover that week. I didn't make any money that week. Now, obviously and that's so we could pay our cast and our crew and everything that came with it. It's not easy. It's not easy making the reason, but and again, as I always say, we know it's not lost on us that we were in a position to do that. And we were more humble, just as humbled, I think, by the fact that we were able to raise the money. Because when you look at the statistics of an Indiegogo campaign, most Indiegogo campaigns fail because they're so saturated. It depends on how much you want to raise. If you want to raise $500, it's not that, okay. But most Indiegogo campaigns fail. And when I say fail, I don't mean fail miserably. I just mean don't reach their goal, right? So the fact that we were able to reach our goal says a lot. It says a lot to you guys, that you guys believed in myself and Bruce and our team to bring something special. And, and we're going to be sending you, of course, the perks. I already sent out, some of you already received the Lynn Griffin signed Christmas ball already. Next on the list is the signed posters to get out. And then the t-shirts and the hats and all that. Next month in January, Tony and I are going to start, fulfilling the Two Dudes perk. I'm going to start fulfilling the McRae Live perk. It's a process, but it's amazing that people have come to the table and supported us this way. It's amazing.
I'm in a catch-22 here with Intel Weil and Todd Fair on the prints they chose, because the print shop, unfortunately, another victim here of businesses closing, they closed.
Okay. Well, you know what? I mean, maybe, take your, I would reach out to them and talk to them.
I have, and they, I told them, I said, it's possible that this is what's going to happen here. Yeah. I feel more bad for the dude who owned the shop, because he's been in the business here in Atlanta for like 25 years printing. I mean, he does everything, commercial print, wedding photography, prints and all. Yeah. I mean, everything you can think of. 25 years now, he had to close up shop. Wow. It sucks that I can't get the pictures for them, but I'm thinking this dude here is like 25 years and you're gone. Like it's like this whole fucking thing that we're in right now blows.
Oh, it does blow. Let's get through some of these super chats. A bunch of them came in. Robert Kitzmiller says $5 super chat says, does it ever cross your mind that when Billy says, Agnes, it's me, Billy, that she or any of the girls knew who Billy was, or just that he's creepy? It's never crossed my mind.
I always thought he said anus. It's me, Billy. Anus.
It's me, Billy.
Anus.
Cletus. No, it's never crossed my mind, but you never know. That's a possibility. I always suspected that Billy was in and around their age. I mean, I think maybe a little bit older, but Billy didn't strike me as somebody who was like in his 40s. You know, he was probably at most maybe 25. So he might have been the older brother of one of the girl's friends or something, or who knows? Nightmare Kid says, my point is she moved and flowed like Michael. I have to watch the movie again. I've only seen the movie 3 times. Nightmare Kid then says she's literally copying a young Michael from 78. Oh, I don't
watch the 2018 film that often.
I haven't seen it.
Can't really
in over a year. So
we
I'm not
watched
sure.
it recently though, right? That was like the last time
I think that's the last time I watched it was with you.
Yeah. And that was like the second or third time I've ever seen the movie. Yeah. So
I've only watched it twice. I saw it at the world premiere, and then I saw it in Hollywood the night before it opened. I saw it at the Chinese theater the night before it opened. And
I saw it once in theater, once when I bought it, and once when we did the show.
Yeah, and then the other 2 times I've watched it has been on the channel, so I'm like half watching it. Right. So
you're not paying attention to every little detail.
Right. So I actually haven't sat down on my own and watched it at home at once. I own it because I'm in the realm of Halloween. I like to have, you know, even the bad ones. But I actually have not physically removed it from the copy I own and watched it. Frank Riker, $5 super chat says, Dave, booby. It's from Die Hard. In my opinion, if Star Wars...
Dude, you know what? I'm just going to vote here for our New Year's movie next week. We should do Die Hard. Kick off 2021 with some fucking John McClane.
All right.
Throwing some Hans Gruber off the fucking Nakatomi building.
All right. Die Hard it is. I'll watch Die Hard again. We'll get Frank in here. Bubby, in my honest opinion, in my opinion, I should say, if Star Wars didn't have lightsabers or Sith Jedi, it wouldn't be that popular, but just another Battlestar or Dune trilogy. Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, certainly the lightsabers and the Sith and the Jedi and the lore and the mythology and the religion aspect and the spiritual aspect of Star Wars definitely is a big draw. The Conspiracy Trifecta says, what's your thoughts on Logan Paul versus Mayweather? I didn't even know they were fighting.
Is that for real?
I guess. I don't know. Is it? I didn't even know they were fighting. I couldn't care, really.
I'm not a big Mayweather fan. I mean, I love boxing, but I was never a big Mayweather fan at all.
And then Reese Wilson sends in $22.99 Australian dollar. Thank you very much, buddy, for the channel. Really, really appreciate that. Okay, we'll go another 5 minutes, and then we'll call it a night.
Sounds good. Bishop Walters, do you think 2021 will be better or worse? I'm thinking global depression and war with China. Damn, dude. Boy. I mean, look, no one fucking knows, and none of us know what's gonna happen next year. I mean, yeah, ideally, I would fucking love it for all my clients to open up shop and everything's back to normal, and I'm able to crank out horror pictures for you guys like I was. Yeah. But I don't see that as a fucking reality. I have absolute. There's only been one time other in my life where there was uncertainties, and that even with that moment in my life, I kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. This shit, I have fucking no clue at this point. Yeah. I have every day it's like you wake up and you have no fucking clue what you're going to face for the day. You know, I've never, and we've said this many times, I've never until now gave 2 shits about politics and what's going on. But now, because of like how it's affecting my business, you have to be informed. You have to know what's going on. You do. You know, we're obviously, everybody knows Georgia is going to be the center of attention here, you know, come next week with the runoff election that's happening for the Senate. And it sucks. I hate it because I hate fucking politics. Like, I hate everything about it. I got you. Like, I don't care about Joe Biden, and I don't care about fucking Donald Trump. I don't care about neither two. Joe Biden's fucking Grandpa Joe for all I care, and Donald Trump is fucking porn star reality king for all I care. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. But now, because we've been forced, and we're forced into this whole like, well, you got to pick a side, and you got to do this, and this is that. Like, dude, I'm on the side where fucking people are thriving, people are working, businesses are open, and none of this fucking restraining order fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? I got you. I tell you what, though, because a lot of you know, and you know, that I've done a lot of volunteer work at the homeless shelters. We've got our eyes seriously locked in on that over the winter time, because, you know, as of right now, yep, 0 cases.
That's good.
Which is really fucking odd considering these are homeless people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like to have 0, like
that's a good point.
I ain't saying that this thing doesn't exist. But the fact of the matter is, when you have a homeless population in the United States of 500,000 and shit ain't happening to them.
No, I hear you. We're in lockdown right now here in the province of Ontario. So it's
how is it affecting you with? Well, is it affecting you at all with voiceovers? Like, do you think as like time goes on and like cutbacks begin to happen where they can't use it for this and that, do you think it could possibly affect you?
Well,
no?
I saw a slowdown, obviously, because like I'm the last in the chain, right?
That's true. You are.
So it really, what really is that the commercials have to be made before I get in there, and the promos or whatever. So it depends on what I'm voicing, right? I just did a bunch of Christmas spots a few weeks ago for Staples. And I actually went into a studio in Toronto to do that, actually. I mean, they were following the COVID stuff. Like I had to knock at the door and wear a mask and come in and all that kind of stuff, hand sanitizer. But I haven't, I don't know. I have noticed it, but I do about 60% of my work from home anyway, in terms of voiceover, because I'm set up to do so. So, definitely did notice it, but not as bad as it could have been. And so we'll see what happens with 2021. Do
you think it's going to be better or worse next year, according to the question? Isn't it scary that you don't know?
Yeah.
Like it's so up in the fucking air.
Well, I think it'll be more of the same for at least the first half of the year. Yeah.
Which, like, I'm so over it.
I don't even watch the news anymore. I just don't.
Well, other than like, because I have to be informed, I have to know what's going on. I have to know if there's new lockdown procedures and all this fucking bull crap. You know what I mean? Yep. Like it's annoying as fuck.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There was one group back in the 1940s that tried to have this type of ruling, and it didn't turn out too well for them either. Yeah. Just saying. All right. Do your World War II history research.
Yeah. Folks, that is going to do it for Tony and I here on episode 93 of McRae Live. Thanks to my moderators, of course, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Darren Sands, for doing what you guys do. Really appreciate it. Thank you to all the Super Chat questions that came in today. The Conspiracy Trifecta sends one last one. Says, how far are you from the final cut of IMDb? Oh, months away. We've just started the assembly cut. We're nowhere near that yet. We are still putting and piecing it together. Thanks to all the Super Chats, all the non-Super Chats. Tony and I will be back next Monday night at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, pending any major thing for any reason why we have to switch it.
Die Hard, right?
That's right. Tony, any last things you want to say?
DMC says we missed a Super Chat, and I'm scrolling through them right now. I don't see one that we missed.
I don't think I missed a Super Chat.
Bro, I don't see one, man. Every one that I've seen right here.
No, I got them all.
Yeah, you got them all.
I'm pretty sure I got them all. I don't see it anyway. I don't see it.
I don't see it either, bro.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us again.
Yeah, until next week. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
There you go. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11:00 a.m. for McRae Live. What are we, 130 something? I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Tony and I are out. Alrighty. Cheers.